In a world where all of humanity has traversed to another realm, Yili awoke to find himself thrust into a highway survival world. Alone with a single vehicle, if he wished to live, he would have to race endlessly along a boundless road, scavenging the supplies he needed. Just as Yili was at a complete loss for what to do, an ethereal voice suddenly echoed by his ear. Congratulations, you have awakened the Golden Legend talent. Welcome to the Doomsday Highway survival world. From today onward, you must survive upon this infinite. Here, everything begins from zero. There is no law, no morality, only the most primal savagery and strength. You possess only one car. It will be your sole, trustworthy companion upon this highway. Please strive with all your might. Life is granted, but once a death offers no return. Friendly reminder, in 3 days you will face a catastrophe, eternal night. To enhance the player's experience, you will have 1 day of invincibility. Yili, who had been sleeping soundly, suddenly jolted awake. His dark eyes were scattered and dazed. But soon the confusion in his gaze gathered and focused again. He rubbed his somewhat muddled head. Doomsday, highway survival, catastrophe. These words reverberated through Yili's mind. Looking around, he discovered that he was actually inside a car that looked on the verge of being scrapped. To call this battered automobile merely scrapped would almost be a compliment. A tangle of exposed wiring snaked across the interior. In some places, the frame had already shed its paint, revealing rust-eaten steel beneath. The leather on the seats had ruptured, exposing the sponge padding within. Cracks marred the windows, and 2 panes were even missing a corner. A musty stench permeated the entire car. The only thing remotely presentable was the 13-inch tablet display set into the center console. Brand new and gleaming, it seemed utterly out of place amidst the wreck of a car. On the screen were displayed the time, weather, and temperature. 8 o'clock in the morning. Weather clear. Temperature 19°C. Curious, Yili tapped the screen a few times. A main interface immediately popped up displaying 4 apps. Chat channel, trading, mall, vehicle status, friend information. Yili directly opened the chat channel. Online users 31251. Active chatters 21512. Many players had already begun sending messages in the channel. Anyone there? Any living people out there? If you're there, say something. Does anyone know what's going on? Where's this place? What is this junk heap of a car? Where's my sports car? I was just having my morning exercise with my wife, and I suddenly ended up here. Where's my wife? Impressive, brother. I suggest you resolve your needs with the exhaust pipe. I think I just heard some voice say something about a doomsday game. Were we abducted by aliens? Don't scare me. Are you people actually from Earth? I am. Me too. Brothers, I really need to pee, but there's a lion staring at me outside my car. What should I do? Waiting online for help. Don't be scared, upstairs. Check if it's male or female. If it's female, maybe you can enjoy some morning exercise too. Don't mess around, brother. I remember that voice saying we have 1 day of invincibility. You can go down and test it. If it's real, come back and share with us. Try it, and you'll die. You crafty old guys are bad to the core. I think you should see whether you can drive your car somewhere else. Sob, is there any kind big brother who can teach me how to drive? I haven't even gotten my license yet. Whoa, caught one alive. There's actually a girl here, hurry, and add her as a friend. Calm down, brother, it could also be a guy pretending. Yili watched as the chat messages rolled rapidly before. Most people in the channel were merely fooling around, cracking jokes. It was basically impossible to obtain any useful information about this so-called Doomsday Highway survival game. In the end, he would still have to rely on himself to explore everything step by step. Next, Yili opened the second app, Trading Mall. You may trade items with other players through the mall. Trading methods are at your discretion. Free usage period countdown, 10 days. It was essentially the game's trading exchange. Having only just arrived in this world, everyone had nothing yet, and the exchange was utterly empty. What concerned Yili most, however, was that limited free usage period. As expected, no matter the game, its developers would never truly let players take advantage. Yili quickly opened the third app. Vehicle status. Wooling map, minivan, cheap, tough, and hard-wearing. Owner Yili. Grade scrap level. Contains workbench, can be used to craft corresponding tools via blueprints and materials. Fuel storage 20 liters, current fuel consumption 7 liters per 100 kilometers. The fuel level was not low. In theory, it could keep the car running for nearly 300 kilometers. Closing the interface, he opened the last app, friend information. Friends 0. Private messages 0. Yili gave it a glance and closed it immediately. There was nothing worth studying there. Finally, his gaze shifted to the workbench in the car's trunk. Its main body was black, 1 meter 20 long and 40 centimeters wide. Aside from that, there was nothing else. Yili sat on the seat, his eyes unfocused. He thought back to his past. On Earth, his parents had died early, and he had no real relatives or friends. He had juggled school and part-time work just to earn a living. At school, his classmates looked down on him. At work, his boss docked his pay. Every day, he toiled in a muddled haze, exhausted and numb, his future shrouded in confusion. And now, for reasons unknown, he had come to this world forced to participate in some damned survival challenge. Could life possibly be any more cruel? It could not be that all this suffering was reserved for him alone. Yili let out a deep sigh, but then another thought flashed through his mind. Everyone is starting from zero. Perhaps this will be a tremendous opportunity. With that single thought, Yili's gaze grew brighter, and a trace of resolve surfaced on his face. At that very moment, a chime sounded by his ear. An ethereal voice followed. "Congratulations, player, you have awakened the talent Golden Legend." Talent, Golden Legend. Yili's eyes widened. As the voice faded, a stream of information about Golden Legend surfaced in his mind. Golden Legend. You are one favored by the goddess of fortune. Danger will always lag one step behind you, while good luck will incessantly seek you out. You are the chosen one and the only one. In simple terms, his luck had skyrocketed. Buy a lottery ticket and you would surely win. Pull a 10 times gotcha and you would inevitably draw gold. He truly had been neatly and thoroughly arranged by fate. Yili once again switched to the chat channel for a quick glance. There were still people chatting casually, though far fewer than before. Most of them had already set out to explore this world. Yili watched the channel for a while. Not a single person revealed any information about their talents. He had no idea whether everyone had chosen to conceal them, or if he was the only one who possessed such a gift. After watching for some time, and finding nothing useful, Yili opened the car door and stepped out, circling the van once. The exterior did not look nearly as shabby as the interior. Some patches of paint, however, were badly peeled. The 4 tires were heavily worn, and the headlamp covers had turned yellow. He was not even sure whether they could still illuminate the road at night. "Hope it doesn't break down halfway," Yili muttered under his breath, unable to stop himself from complaining as he continued to observe his surroundings. The van was parked on a wide highway. It was a 16-lane two-way road, astonishingly wide. On both sides stretched boundless grasslands, and in the hazy distance he could make out mountains and forests. The distance was impossible to gauge, though it was certainly far away. "All right, let's begin." Yili exhaled deeply, then climbed back into the vehicle. He turned the key to ignite the engine. At once a series of thunderous rumbles erupted, as though it might explode at any moment, and the entire vehicle began to shake violently. Clutch down, shift gear, release the handbrake, ease off the clutch, step on the gas. The van lurched into motion. He shifted gears and began to accelerate, intent on carefully observing the surroundings, while also making sure the van did not fall apart. Yili kept the speed around 30, drawing on his experience from countless survival games he had played. There would surely be resource crates along the road. The fuel in the tank was nowhere near enough for a 300-kilometer journey. He had to find a resource crate before the gas ran dry. Yili steered the vehicle closer to the edge of the highway. His gaze swept constantly over the grassland beside the road. Small animals and insects darted through the grass. Field mice, rabbits, grasshoppers, each one a potential food source. On this grassland, at least, he would not have to worry about starving. The real headache was that he had neither weapons nor tools to start a fire. Just then a series of beeping sounds suddenly rang out from the screen beside him. A mechanical voice followed. "Resource crate detected 60 meters to the left of the vehicle." So this thing even comes with a built-in resource detection function. Yili was genuinely surprised. He stomped on the brake at once and brought the van to a stop at the roadside before hopping out. Craning his neck, he looked toward the left. Sure enough, he noticed a faint bluish protrusion in the distant grass, its color nearly identical to the surrounding vegetation. At such a distance, without the warning, he would never have noticed it. Yili glanced around, hoping to find a handy weapon. Yet after searching for quite some time, he came up empty-handed. In the end, gritting his teeth, he stepped directly into the grass. Since that voice had said they would have a day of invincibility at the beginning, he decided to gamble on it. If he won, all would be well. If he lost, he would simply have to start over again. "If I die, I'll just be a good man again in 18 years, he thought, wryly, heart pounding with anxiety. Yili sprinted all the way to the side of the resource crate. Coiled atop it lay a black snake with spots as thick as his thumb and half a meter long. Its head was triangular, clearly marking it as a venomous snake. A cold sweat broke out across Yili's back, yet the snake did not strike at him. Instead, it lay there in utter stillness, as though asleep. Yili hurriedly scanned his surroundings. There was nothing but grass in every direction. Not even a single thin branch could be seen. To hell with it, he decided, stealing his nerves. He resolved to take its life while it slept. He reached out, grabbed the black spot snake, and slammed it hard onto the ground, then stomped down on it twice with all his strength. The black snake did not even have time to wake up. Its head was crushed into a pulp, its body twitching a few times in the grass before Yili stomped it again and again. Only then did it fall completely still. So much for that. Yili exhaled in relief. After confirming there was no further danger, he stepped up to the chest. The moment his hand touched it, a new message surfaced in his mind. Bronze chest typically contains basic daily supplies, equipment, and construction blueprints. Let's see what good things I can get out of this. With eager anticipation, Yili opened the bronze chest. In an instant, a golden radiance surged out from within. The light was so bright that Yili had to squint. When the golden glow finally faded and the contents of the chest were fully revealed, he quickly opened his eyes to look. There were 3 items inside Iron Axe Blueprint X: 1 pack of bottled water, 24 bottles, 500 milliliters each, and Desert Eagle Comet. So this is the so-called Golden Legend. Yeely stared at the handgun in the chest, unable to hide the excitement on his face. His grin was nearly impossible to suppress. He completely ignored the other 2 items for the moment. He picked up the Desert Eagle at once. Its magazine held 7 rounds, and it came with 30 extra bullets, 37 in total. With a pistol for self-defense, as long as he did not get surrounded by a pack of beasts or act recklessly, he could almost roam the wilderness unhindered. The only pity was that there were so few bullets. Yeely had never handled a gun before, so he was not particularly confident in his marksmanship. Steadying his emotions, he picked up the blueprint, the water, and the black spot snake on the ground, then hurried back to the van. Lingering too long in an unknown wilderness gnawed at his sense of security. Only after he shut the car door did he finally breathe a sigh of relief. At that moment, he also noticed a voice sounding by his ear, "Collect the black spot snake's corpse." So even this could be collected. It really was like a game. Yeely was taken aback for a moment, then nodded and said, "Collect." As his words fell, the black spot snake he had placed on the passenger seat transformed into a segment of meat, a snake gall, and a gold coin. Curiosity getting the better of him, Yeely first picked up the gold coin for a closer look. It was small and finely made, much like the coins circulating on Earth. Gold coin, legal currency circulating in this world, cannot be used as crafting material. So this world had money as well after all. Yeely could not help recalling the countdown he had seen earlier for the free use period of the trading marketplace. He wondered whether the gold coin had any uses beyond the trading marketplace. Carefully stowing it away, he turned his attention to the Iron Axe Blueprint. Iron Axe Blueprint. After learning you can use the workbench to craft a respectable quality iron axe, more than sufficient for self-defense and chopping wood. Required materials: iron ingot X1, a wooden stick X1. Reusable. The explanation was simple and straightforward. Yeely went to the back of the van and placed the blueprint on the workbench. A notification indicated that the materials were insufficient and crafting was impossible. Yeely opened the trading marketplace, hoping to find the materials he needed, but the listings were still completely empty. There was nothing there at all. He switched back to the chat channel for another look. Even fewer people were talking now, as more and more had decided to head out and explore the world. At a time like this, everyone was busy searching for supplies, though almost no one would waste time in the group trading items. Yeely likewise chose to keep driving forward and continue his exploration. Yeely had been driving on the highway until noon, covering nearly 100 kilometers. The fuel gauge had dropped by a third. He hadn't encountered a single treasure chest. The long hours of driving and intense concentration had left him extremely fatigued. Plus, he felt a bit hungry, so he decided to stop and rest. He planned to continue his journey in the afternoon. Ding, ding, ding. Just when he had parked the car and was about to grab a bottle of water, a series of urgent sounds echoed from the screen. Detected a resource box 57 meters to the right of the vehicle. Yeely, who had been weary, perked up at the sound. If it weren't for the low roof of the car, he would have stood up immediately. After a long wait, he finally encountered the second resource box. Yeely held the Desert Eagle in his hand. He quickly got out of the car and walked towards the grassland on the right. In the distance, he could see a gray fox lying about 50 meters away. It seemed to be dozing off completely still. Beside the gray fox lay a bronze treasure chest that looked identical to the one he encountered that morning. This thing's attack power isn't that strong. Should I give it a try and see if it's truly invincible for a day? Yeely hesitated. He had no extra weapons aside from the Desert Eagle, and the Desert Eagle only had 37 bullets. Using one would mean losing one. 3 days later, disaster would strike. What he would have to face then would likely be 100 times stronger than now. Yeely was unwilling to waste bullets. With this thought, Yeely decided to go for it. He quickly walked up to the gray fox and kicked it hard on its rear. The forceful kick startled the gray fox awake from its sweet dream. It yelped and jumped up, turning around to glare resentfully at the man who disturbed its slumber. The gray fox complained, "Why come here to cause trouble instead of taking the main road? You have nothing better to do. They'll bite you to death." While howling, the gray fox lunged at Yeely. Bang! However, the gray fox had yet to reach Yeely, having jumped within 30 centimeters of him. It seemed to hit an invisible wall, dazed and stars appearing in its eyes. Though it looked bizarre, Yeely was assured that he was indeed invincible. Right now, watching the gray fox fainting at his, Yeely would certainly not let it off easily. He pounced on it, pinning it to the ground with one hand while striking its head with the Desert Eagle in the other. He kept hitting until the gray fox was silent. Then a celestial voice echoed in his ears. "Would you like to collect the gray fox?" "Collect." The gray fox on the ground instantly split into 3 pieces of meat, 2 gold coins, and a piece of fox fur. Yeely first picked up the gold coins, then opened the treasure chest beside him. After a golden glow, 3 items appeared before Yeely's eyes. Roasted duck, whole, gasoline, 2 space ring, common grade. Looking at these 3 items, Yeely felt like kissing the goddess of fortune. Not only had he resolved his lunch, but he also had gasoline. Unexpectedly, he even obtained a space ring. Yili held the dimensional ring in his hand. Information about the space ring suddenly flooded into his mind. Space ring common grade contains a small space of 100 cubic meters, can be used as a backpack. Reading this information, Yili could only express his thoughts. This is much more convenient than a backpack. It's so difficult to take things in and out of a backpack. The space ring only requires a thought to retrieve or store items. He collected all the supplies on the ground into the space ring. Satisfied, Yili returned to the car, not intending to leave just yet. He directly grabbed the roasted duck and started eating. At the same time, he opened the chat interface to check for information and see if he could trade some iron blocks and wooden sticks. It was already noon. Many teams who had explored for half a day chose to rest. The chat group became lively again. Has anyone found food or water? Share a little with me. I'm almost out of strength. I searched all morning and found only one resource box, and it yielded a pile of scrap metal. Who has food? I can trade materials for it. Forget it, everyone just arrived. Who has that much food? I do have raw meat. Do you have fire? First of all, I'm not someone who likes to show off, and secondly, I don't want to tell you that I just opened a Buddha jumping wall. What? You really should die. You really should die. Did you open that box with your lifespan? Eat, and choke. What? There are resource boxes. Why didn't you say so earlier? I stayed in one place for half a day. Awesome, the one above can wait to die. There are poisonous snakes and fierce beasts next to the resource box. Oh, what should I do if I'm afraid to approach? What are you afraid of? Didn't we say we have a day of invincibility? Those wild monsters can't get near you. Really? If I lie to you, I'm a little puppy. Who has water? Am dying of thirst. If anyone can give me a sip of water, I will call you daddy. Yili looked at the chat content in the chat channel. Half a day went by. Those who went out to search for supplies had mostly found resource boxes. Some were able to open food, while others found water. However, very few could find both types of items. A large number of people opened only materials. Yili thought for a moment and decided to take out 2 bottles of water to trade for the iron axe materials. After all, he couldn't always go empty-handed to deal with those monsters. It was not only inefficient, but also exhausting. Yili, I have 2 bottles of water, one for 500 milliliters, one for exchanging for iron ingots, and one for wooden sticks. Iron ingots must be no less than 5 and wooden sticks no less than 5. Everyone is welcome to purchase. Upon seeing Yili's message, the chat channel fell eerily silent for a second. Then it erupted like a volcano. At such times, water and food were necessities, and it was surprising that someone would offer to trade them. Moreover, it was 2 bottles. Brother Yili, I'll offer 5 iron ingots. Brother Yili, I'll offer 20 wooden sticks. What the hell, the one above, are you trying to jack up prices? So what? There's a whole forest next to me, if you can fight me for it. I'll offer 6 iron ingots. I'll offer 6 iron ingots plus 10000 cash. The one above cash is useless in this world, while offer an additional gold coin. Brother Yili, look at me, I can be your girlfriend as long as you can give me water every day in the future. Silly bitch. Once isn't enough, you want to keep freeloading. Yili, look at me, I'll offer 6 iron ingots plus 2 gold coins. These guys really did get a lot of good stuff. Unfortunately, no matter how good the items were, without food and water, they were useless. Yili looked at the prices offered by these people, clicking his tongue. Ding. A series of notification sounds echoed on the screen. Lichinga, hello, I only have 3 iron ingots, but I can offer 2 gold coins along with a crafting blueprint. A private message appeared on the screen, catching Yili's attention, especially upon seeing someone willing to trade a crafting blueprint. Yili became more interested and quickly replied, what crafting blueprint? Lichinga, a blueprint for a multifunctional cooking pot for vehicles. A cooking pot. This item is indeed quite important. With it, there's no need to start a fire. Meals can be prepared in the vehicle. In 3 days, the eternal night will descend, surrounded by darkness. Cooking and eating in the vehicle is definitely much safer than below. Sure, Yili replied directly. The value of a single blueprint far surpasses that of 5 iron ingots. Not trading would be foolish. The two quickly completed the transaction. A bottle of water disappeared from Yili's vehicle. At the same time, 3 iron ingots, 2 gold coins, and a blueprint appeared. Multifunctional cooking pot. Ordinary. After learning, it can be crafted into a decent multifunctional cooking pot, using a workbench capable of making delicious meals. Crafting materials. 10 iron ingots, 1 electronic component, can be used. Once looking at these crafting materials, Yili couldn't help but feel a bit overwhelmed. He had only just acquired 3 iron ingots and now encountered an electronic component he had never seen before. He needed to hurry and open some boxes. Yili opened the chat channel. He found the person offering the highest price for a wooden stick and traded a bottle of water for 200 sticks. Looking at the vehicle filled with sticks, Yili felt a bit disoriented. Fortunately, the workbench can combine sticks into lumber. 20 sticks can be combined into 1 lumber. Yili kept 20 sticks and combined the remaining 180 into lumber. This saved a lot of space. With the materials gathered, Yili crafted an iron axe and continued driving forward. There was still more than half a day of invincible time left. Not a second could be wasted. Ding! Yili drove another 50 kilometers forward. The road was wide and smooth. He wasn't worried about hitting anything, so he drove while observing the chat in the group. He looked to see if anyone had good items for trade. Unfortunately, after a long time, there was nothing worthwhile. Most people were trading materials. Iron ingots, wooden blocks, rubber, plastic. Various materials. Unfortunately, he didn't see any so-called electronic components. He also didn't see anyone offering crafting blueprints. After all, it was only half a day. There weren't many who could bring out good items. Even if someone did, they wouldn't be foolish enough to trade them without prioritizing the most common items. Yili drove in boredom. There was no music or other sounds. The entire road was silent except for him. If it weren't for the bumpy ride, he would have already fallen asleep. Ding! Just as Yili was about to doze off, another notification sound rang out. Resource area detected on the right side of the vehicle. Resource area. Yili turned to look at the right side of the car, where about 100 meters away was a dense forest. From the outside, the trees were closely packed together, very lush and deep. It looked like a giant beast with a wide-open mouth waiting for prey to fall into its trap. Let's go take a look. Without hesitation, Yili opened the car door and jumped out. Since he had invincible time now, he should take the opportunity to gather more information. Yili didn't even take out his Desert Eagle this time. He simply carried an iron axe as he walked over. There was a small dirt path outside the forest that led deep inside. No one was around to remind him where there might be treasure chests. Yili had to walk while scanning the surroundings carefully, making sure not to miss anything within his line of sight. There were some bushes alongside the road. Some of the bushes bore bright red berries. Yili walked over to pick a few and stored them in his space ring for pluck. Just as Yili was focused on picking berries, a sharp sound rang out. Yili looked up and couldn't help but a wild chicken burst out from the berry bushes. This patch of berries was its territory, and it clearly did not take kindly to being picked without permission. The anger burned in the wild chicken's eyes. With a swish. With one swing of the axe, the wild chicken leapt towards Yili, but was swiftly knocked to the ground. Do you want to collect the wild chicken? Collect. The wild chicken's body burst open. Obtain gold coins 1. A delicious wild chicken legs 2. Bird feathers 5. Looking at the chicken legs on the ground, Yili couldn't help but curl his lips. For such a large and delicious wild chicken, he only collected 2 legs. It felt a bit wasteful. Yili used the axe to rummage through the bushes. Indeed, he discovered a bronze treasure chest. With excitement, he opened the chest. As golden light flashed, the contents of the chest appeared before Yili. Windproof lighter, headlamp, ordinary electronic components 5. This haul was truly to Yili's satisfaction. A lighter is a must-have for survival in the wild. With the headlamp, he can face the eternal night in 3 days without having to fumble around in the dark to search for supplies. And there were electronic components. It was as if everything he wanted was coming to him. Now he only needed 7 more iron ingots to craft the multifunctional cooking pot for vehicles. He stored all the items from the chest in his space ring. While continuing to pick berries, Yili ventured further ahead. The animals in the forest were much richer than those seen on the grasslands. Monkeys, pythons, raccoons, squirrels, antelopes. They hid behind the trunks in the depth of the forest, cautiously watching the man who suddenly intruded. Yili walked nearly 500 meters ahead. The surroundings became considerably darker. The canopy above was too dense, allowing no light to filter through. A gust of chilling wind blew from the forest, carrying a faint smell of blood. Yili paused for a moment. Finally, he took out the headlamp and put it on his head, continuing onward. The light from the headlamp was very bright. It illuminated everything within a 20-meter range clearly. Beyond 20 meters, it became blurry and indistinct. Yili continued forward for 100 steps. Suddenly, a series of low growls echoed around him as if fierce beasts were declaring their territory to other intruding creatures. Yili stopped and looked towards the woods on either side. Pairs of eyes resembling rubies opened behind the trees, gazing in his direction. With the help of the headlamp's light, Yili finally saw the true forms of those reed monsters. They were all humanoid creatures. They resembled zombies from movies. Their skin was a sickly blue covered in bulging veins. Fangs protruded from their mouths, oozing black, foul-smelling liquid. Their hands had evolved into claws, looking extremely sharp. Night demons. Just one glance made Yili want to turn and flee. But then he remembered he was in an invincible state. Yili's courage immediately surged. That's right, I am invincible. Shouldn't they be the ones running away? With that thought, Yili tightened his grip on the iron axe and continued walking forward. Roar. At last, with Yili's continued advance, the zombies let out a series of roars, rushing out from behind the trees in the forest. Yili tightly gripped the iron axe, waiting for the right moment. As the first zombie charged towards him, he aimed for its head and struck mercilessly. A howl erupted from the zombie as green liquid burst forth from the edge of the axe, splattering like a puddle of mud as it fell to the ground. Would you like to collect the night demon's body? Yili had no time to ponder this. The night demons behind him had already pounced, surrounding him. The night demons attacked Yili frantically, but all were repelled by a golden light surrounding him. If only I could remain invincible like this forever. Yili mumbled to himself, not pausing in his movements. He swung the axe around, chopping at the heads of the night demons. It was swift. All 20 night demons lay at his feet. Collect. With Yili's voice, the bodies of the night demons transformed into various materials. Gain night demon serum 20, shreds 100, gained gold 200. These night demons are so strong. If it weren't for the invincibility, I would have been torn apart by these monsters. Yili looked at the night demon serum in his hand, frowning slightly. At that moment, a more terrifying roar echoed from deep within the forest. Yili collected his thoughts and walked towards the direction of the roar. Along the way, more night demons sprang out from the forest, all dealt with by Yili's invincible aura. Gain night demon serum 10, shreds 50, gold 100. Soon, he spotted an unusual night demon at the end of the path. This night demon was larger and more imposing than the others, its muscles bulging. Its mouth had 4 flaps opening and closing. 8 bone spikes protruded from its belly, writhing incessantly. Have I encountered a small boss? Yili's heart raced with excitement. He had a hunch. As long as he could take down this monster, he would surely gain substantial rewards. Eat. The night demon let out a roar and lunged at Yili. Its speed was akin to that of a cheetah. Swish. Yili sidestepped and swung the iron axe fiercely at the night demon's head. Bang! The axe struck the night demon's head, producing a dull thud. It merely broke the flesh without inflicting substantial damage. The night demon reacted quickly. As Yili struck, its claws were already swiping towards him. Bang! Its claws struck against the golden light, failing to harm Yili in the slightest. Goth! The night demon cried out, seemingly cursing Yili for cheating. It had somehow donned a layer of shell on its body. Yili ignored it, focusing intently on the night demon's attack patterns. Claw attacks, fang bites, pounces. These were the night demon's 3 killer moves. With each ineffective attack, the night demon grew increasingly furious. Losing all patience, it ramped up the frequency and chaos of its attacks, while Yili remained calm, dodging and striking in return. He aimed to hit the night demon's head accurately after each dodge, or to quickly evade after each strike. If he couldn't avoid it, he would take it heat in. Currently, the night demon couldn't harm him at all. After several attempts, Yili had essentially figured out the night demon's weakness. It was its head. Compared to other areas, its head was the most vulnerable part. Finally, after half an hour of practice, Yili's axe finally struck into the night demon's head. Gah! Accompanied by a mournful wail, the night demon's massive body crashed heavily to the ground. Would you like to collect the mutated night demon's body? Collect. Rewards: night demon serum 2, shreds 5, gold 20. Yili looked at the items dropped from the mutated blood demon. He couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed. He had hoped for something extraordinary, but it seemed he had overestimated. As he gathered the items, a silver light caught Yili's attention. He took a few steps forward, parting the bushes at the end of the path. Inside was a treasure chest shimmering with a silver glow. Silver treasure chest contains basic living supplies, materials, and crafting blueprints. Can occasionally yield higher-level items. A more advanced treasure chest. It was worth my long trek here. Yili was overjoyed as he hurried over to open the chest. Golden light filled the air. Compared to opening a bronze chest, it was even more dazzling, making Yili instinctively avert his gaze. Once the golden light subsided, he turned his attention back to the chest. Gained blanket 1, gained iron ingots 10, gained blueprint for car door regular, gained blueprint for anti-night demon serum. Yili held the blanket, which was smooth, soft, and had good insulation properties. It could keep him warm at night. The iron ingots were nothing special. This material was the most common in chat channels and trading malls. Blueprint for car door regular requires materials. Iron ingots 30 can be used 5 times. Exactly enough to replace all 5 doors of the van. However, looking at the number of iron ingots, Yili's brow furrowed deeply. It required 30 iron ingots to craft 1 door. To replace all 5, he would need 150 iron ingots, but he currently only had 12. The road ahead is long and arduous. Yili stored the car door blueprint and looked at the second blueprint. Blueprint for anti-night demon serum requires materials. Night demon serum 1, wood ash 1, reusable effect. After taking damage from night demons, it can effectively remove the residual night demon virus from the body. Effective within 24 hours, Yili gazed at the blueprint, his eyes gleaming green. The night demons contained a virus. Being attacked would lead to infection. If the remaining virus was not expelled within 24 hours, it would result in a fatal infection. This is where the importance of the anti-night demon serum came into play. The materials for the anti-night demon serum were not rare. The night demon serum could be obtained by killing night demons, while wood ash could easily be gathered from burning dry branches. I really hope no one else has it, then I could make a fortune. Yili looked forward as he walked towards the edge of the forest. The path had come to an end. The forest was dark and foreboding. Yili didn't plan to venture into the woods for exploration. As he walked back, he picked up dry twigs and leaves from the ground. He prepared to return to the road to gather more wood ash. In 3 days, the eternal night disaster would strike, and these night demons were likely to be the most common monsters during the calamity. Yili wanted to make early preparations. Returning to the road, Yili gathered the dry branches and leaves he had collected into a pile and ignited it with a lighter. He then took out the snake meat and fox meat he obtained earlier in the morning and placed them on the fire to roast. Yili returned to the car and opened the chat interface. Many people were online. After all, surviving alone in an unfamiliar world brought about feelings of loneliness and fear, intensifying various negative emotions. In such times, the presence of other survivors became the last comfort in everyone's heart. Even if one did not like to send messages, simply observing the conversations in the chat could create a sense of companionship, alleviating the panic within. It's been almost a day, and I've encountered 3 resource boxes without a single bite to eat. Are we supposed to survive like this? But don't you have meat? You can eat meat. Do you have a way to start a fire? Are you going to eat it raw? Don't you fear parasites? I found food, but there's no water. I'm about to die of thirst. Who has water? They'll trade materials. Let's all pitch in. If anyone has food or water, how about we? You can't do this. What about those of us who have nothing? Back upstairs, cold dish. I want to trade too, but I only have a bottle of water, not enough for myself. Whoa, I haven't eaten anything all day. My stomach is empty and my heart feels cold. Which big brother could be kind enough to give me a bite to eat? You can message me privately. Yili clicked to take a look. The girl who sent the message was of average appearance, barely acceptable. However, her figure was indeed impressive. At least a C cup, but it was hard to tell if it was the real deal. Wow, what a nice figure. Too bad brother has no food. Why don't you come find me and I can give you some snacks in exchange? You upstairs, are you serious? Aren't you shameless? Disrespect. Disrespect. Woo, which big brother or sister could spare me a sip of water? My dad is Lee Gang. Once we go back, I can give you a small goal. Get lost, evil capitalist thinking about promises at this time. What's a small goal worth? Whoever gives me a sip of water, I can promise them 2 small goals when we return. Everyone can boast, who can't? Who is Lee Gang? Do you know who my father is? My father is Zhang. Yili silently watched these people bicker. When these people finally tired of arguing, he typed out a message and sent it. Yili selling fresh berries, delicious and juicy, sweet and sour 10 berries for a piece of iron ingot. Contact me if interested. Berries. Are they poisonous? Won't they cause diarrhea? Someone immediately sent a message. 10 berries for an iron ingot. That's too exploitative. Can it be 20? They'll trade for 20. Yeah. That's too little. Oh, it can't quench thirst. Yili, can I buy them with gold coins? Yili, Appa, I don't have iron ingots, but I want to eat sweet berries too. Look, my mouth is dry. Yili curiously clicked to take a look. Oh my, a mouth full of big yellow teeth. How disgusting. Ugh, you upstairs, could you not share your unclean pictures? I'm about to throw up. 1. Ding. After taking a sip of water, Yili was startled by a private message that came in. Li Tianyi, brother, how many berries do you have? This name looked familiar to Yili. Oh, it seemed to be the person who just criticized him in the chat channel. 1 iron ingot for 10 berries, no bargaining. Yili replied directly. He had no interest in haggling with this person. Li Tianyi, I know if you have more, I'll trade for 100 berries. Li Tianyi was nearly frantic. He had said so in the chat channel earlier. He wanted others to think it wasn't worth it so that he could be the first to find Yili to trade for more berries. No problem, just request a trade. Yili took out the berries he had picked from his space ring. There were still many in the forest. He had collected a full 2,000 berries. With the conclusion of the trade, he ended up losing 100 berries but gaining 10 iron ingots. Don't eat too much if you get a stomach ache. I'm not responsible. Finally, Yili reminded him. The group was still arguing. However, many people had already begun to message him privately to trade. For those who wanted to freeload and haggle, Yili directly blocked them, ignoring them altogether. Soon all 2,000 berries were traded away. On his car there were now 200 iron ingots. Yili placed the car door crafting blueprint on the workbench in the back, consuming 150 iron ingots. He directly crafted all 5 car doors. Ding. Ordinary car door, crafted successfully. Would you like to replace the original car doors? Without hesitation, he directly replaced the old doors with the new ones. To Yili's surprise, the new doors were installed, but the old ones did not come off. Instead, they simply vanished. He had no chance to recover or dismantle them. Yili then used 10 iron ingots and 1 electronic component. He also crafted the multifunctional cooking pot he had obtained earlier, placing it in the passenger seat. After finishing these, Yili got out of the car and examined his vehicle. Overall, it still looked shabby. Only the 5 newly produced car doors looked brand new, standing out awkwardly against the dilapidated car frame. It resembled a flower bride wearing a new dress covering the body, but not the face, making it even more unsightly. Yili looked at it twice, unable to bear to look any longer. He turned to look at the ashes of the fire. A waft of meat aroma drifted over. The The meat on top was already cooked charred black. Yili took a small bite, sticking out his tongue. To be honest, it really wasn't that great. It smelled good, but tasted like firewood with a hint of smokiness. After throwing the roasted meat into the car, Yili collected the remnants of the fire. Obtain plant ash 100, obtain charcoal 5. Yili placed the anti-night demon serum, crafting blueprint 32 portions of night demon serum and 32 portions of plant ash on the workbench. Soon he had crafted 32 portions of anti-night demon serum. The green liquid in the test tubes had. Yili stored all the anti-night demon serum in his space ring. He certainly wouldn't sell these at this time. On the first day, everyone had invincibility. It was impossible to get hurt. In fact, some people might not even be aware of the existence of night demons. At this point, these serums were less valuable than a bottle of water or a bite to eat. They couldn't be sold for a high price. Only when most people encountered night demons, especially when someone got hurt, would the anti-night demon serum become valuable. Yili now prayed that there weren't many people who possessed this blueprint. After packing his things, Yili drove forward for several dozen kilometers. Along the way, he discovered a bronze treasure chest guarded by a gray wolf. To hone his combat skills, Yili battled fiercely with the gray wolf for 300 rounds, ultimately exhausting it to death. He obtained 10 pieces of wolf meat, 1 wolf skin, and 2 gold coins. He opened the bronze treasure chest. He acquired 5 iron ingots, 5 packages of instant noodles, and 40 liters of gasoline. Adding the 20 liters he had from earlier, Yili now had 60 liters of reserve gasoline. He no longer had to worry about running out of fuel. Ding! Just as Yili sat back in the car, a notification sound echoed on the screen. The notification read, "Warning, night is approaching, danger levels are rising, please take precautions." With the sound of the notification fading, the sky gradually darkened. In just a moment, the slanting sun in the west had vanished, replaced by a sky full of red clouds. Yili glanced at the time, realizing it was already 7:30 p.m. Perhaps due to his body still being in an excited state, he felt no fatigue after a long day of busyness. He merely felt a bit of soreness in his rear. Should I rest here for the night? Yili pondered while driving. However, he ended up driving another 30 kilometers. Outside, the darkness had fully descended. Yili tried to turn on the headlights of the car. The small, worn-out vehicle did not disappoint him. The dim light only allowed him to see about 10 meters ahead. Beyond that, everything blurred into darkness. Yili parked the car in the middle of the road, preparing to rest for the night after a long day of driving. The cool breeze wafted through the cracks and gaps in the car windows, causing Yili to shiver involuntarily. The nighttime temperature hovered around 10 C, making it quite cold. He covered himself with a blanket and nibbled on the roast duck he hadn't finished for lunch. Aside from a bit of cramped space and minor discomfort, Yili found it quite pleasant. Life here was even more enjoyable than when he was on Earth. Yili glanced at the display screen, noticing that most people had chosen to rest at this time. The chat channel was much livelier than in the afternoon. What should I do? I've never slept alone in the wild. I hope there aren't any perverts or serial killers out there. There's probably no pervert, but there are definitely wolves. I just got out and killed 3 of them. What are you afraid of tonight? We're still invincible. Am not afraid, the more the merrier. It guarantees future food. Help. For the 9,999th time, I haven't eaten or drunk anything all day. How can someone please spare me some food? What time is it? Still thinking about freeloading. 3 pieces of roasted wild boar meat for 1 bottle of water. Anyone interested, message me. I'll offer 5 iron ingots for a bottle of water. Who can give me a drink of water? I can add you as a friend and guide you remotely. Yili clicked to take a look and instantly rated her. Looks 7 points. Figure 8 points. Plus, she's a glasses girl. I'll give her an extra point. He could join the gallery. Adding friends for remote guidance was one thing, but he couldn't physically reach her. Everyone step aside. I want to capture the one above to bite me. Anyone who tries to take her from me will face my wrath. Hey, do you have any water? Come on, what time is it? Stop playing games. This isn't a game. Someone could really die. Who cares what you think? I have water. Big brother, give me a bottle, and I can also let you guide me remotely. Big brother, I'm looking to trade. I can offer 10 iron ingots for a bottle of water. Yili finished the leftover roast duck from lunch and looked at the last piece of duck's butt. He placed it in the... Originally, he was just testing the waters. To his surprise, as soon as it was listed, it was immediately purchased. Ding! Transaction complete for the roast duck, but received 1 iron ingot. Can this really happen? Yili tossed the leftover duck bones into the trading mall. This time it wasn't snatched up. Just as Yili was wondering if he was being too excessive, another notification sound rang out. Ding! Transaction complete for the roast duck bone, received 1 iron ingot. These people are really hungry. Yili laughed helplessly. In his home world, this kind of thing would be something even a beggar would chase him 10 streets for. Yet here he could trade it for an iron ingot. Yili listed the 4 pieces of meat he had roasted today in the mall, each piece exchanged for 5 iron ingots. Yili was not surprised. Many people had found tools for starting fires in treasure chests today. There were quite a few selling roasted meat in the mall. What everyone needed most now was water resources. Yili glanced at the 19 bottles of water remaining in his car's trunk, contemplating whether to take out 2 bottles for some resources. Water was in high demand in the market now and could be sold for a higher price. After a couple of days, as people accumulated more water, its price would surely drop significantly. Ding! Just as Yili was pondering this, a notification sound rang out. Yili looked at the screen. A private message appeared on the display. Lichinga, hello, do you still have any water? If possible, I would like to exchange for a bottle. Yili was not unfamiliar with this name. It was the person he had traded iron ingots and a multifunctional cook. What will you offer in exchange? Yili sent a message back. If the other party could present something that satisfied him, he wouldn't mind trading a bottle. Upon seeing Yili's message, Li Qing's face lit up with excitement. She had already finished the bottle of water from noon, and her throat felt as if it might catch fire. She had searched everywhere for water, but found none. Finally, she decided to ask the person who sold her bottled water at noon if they had any left. To her surprise, she actually received a response. From the tone of the reply, it was clear this person still had extra water, otherwise they wouldn't have asked what she was willing to trade. Lichinga, I have a blueprint for an oil tank that can increase its capacity to 40 LO, and also a portable speaker that can play music. Can I trade both for a bottle of water? After sending the message, Lichinga felt a bit embarrassed. She considered both items to not hold much value. The oil tank upgrade would merely reduce future refueling times, and the portable speaker only contained 1 song. Yilia, Lichinga, thank you. The transaction is complete. Yili looked at the message sent by Lichinga, feeling somewhat puzzled. What is there to thank for in a mutually agreeable transaction? He didn't pay it any mind. He lowered his head to look at the blueprint in his hand. Blueprint for the automobile fuel tank standard grade. It can be made on the workbench to create a larger tank that holds more fuel. Materials needed: plastic 40. Usable once. Yili glanced at it and tossed it into the back of the vehicle. He had never seen plastic before. There was no need to exchange water for it now. Yili picked up the portable music player and put on the headphones. He turned on the switch. Music began to play. As the intro started, Yili's head and body involuntarily began to sway. Hail, hail. What's the matter with your head? Yeah. Listening to the music, an image of a man dancing awkwardly flashed in Yili's mind. The man who threw a punch in Avengers Infinity War. Yili wanted to change the song. After studying it for a while, the portable music player only had this 1 song. Damn, there's only 1 song. Yili took off the headphones, lamenting helplessly. No matter how good a song is, listening to it repeatedly will eventually make it unbearable. Having obtained water, Lichinga took a refreshing gulp. Instantly, the fire in her throat was extinguished, though it still felt a bit itchy. However, Lichinga suppressed her inner desires and set the bottle of mineral water aside. She was hoping this bottle would last until she found the next treasure chest. The long night was silent. Yili reclined the seat and closed his eyes to rest. He hadn't felt too tired from driving all day. Now that he suddenly stopped, drowsiness surged upon him like a flood. Soon Yili fell asleep. In his dreams, he successfully completed this survival scenario. He reached the pinnacle of life. Luxurious palace, sumptuous feasts. Naza on the left, Rebo on the right. Just as he was about to embrace the 2 beautiful women for the wedding night, the bed collapsed. Bang! The violent shaking jolted Yili awake. The sound of claws scraping metal echoed outside the vehicle. Yili sat up abruptly. He had already gripped the Desert Eagle and the iron axe tightly. Turning his head to look outside, under the moonlight, 2 gray wolves were attacking the car door. Scrape, scrape, scrape. The incessant screeching was annoying. Damn, that's my newly replaced door. Yili's face darkened. He opened the door and got out of the car. The 2 gray wolves noticed someone coming out of the vehicle and immediately redirected their target towards Yili. However, Yili had golden light protecting him. The attacks of the 2 gray wolves couldn't land on him at all. Thud, thud, howl, howl, accompanied by 2 axe strikes. Both gray wolves fell to the ground. Not yet dead, Yili stepped forward and struck their heads with 2 more axes. Only then did the notification sound ring in his ears. Do you want to collect the gray wolf corpses? Collect. Obtained wolf meat 20, a wolf skin 2, gold coins 4. He dealt with the 2 wolves. Yili looked around and found no other beasts. He then turned his gaze to the car door. The brand new car door had already been scratched by the 2 wolves. Several claw marks were left. Fortunately, it was just 2 wild wolves. If I had encountered larger beasts, this broken car would probably be dismantled. Yili muttered to himself and returned to the vehicle. He glanced at the time. It was 4:30 in the morning. The outside was still pitch black. Yili curled back into his seat. He opened the chat channel on the screen. Many people were still awake. It wasn't that they didn't want to sleep. Many were like Yili, who had been sleeping soundly until the noise outside woke them up. Damn, my car door just got 2 holes punched in it by a wild bull. How can I drive now? What happened to the invincibility? Why didn't the car get invincible for a moment? Have you ever woken up to find a wild animal urinating on your face? My car still smells like urine. How did it get into your car? I didn't close the window. Then you asked for it. Don't say that. I got out to urinate just now and was ambushed by a snake. If it weren't for the golden light protecting me, my little brother would have been gone. Everyone must be careful. Tomorrow our invincibility time will be over, and then it will be our real test. Whoa, I want to go home. I miss my mom. I don't want to stay in this place. Stop thinking about home here. Just a reminder, we don't have much invincibility time left. It would be better to drive forward now. Maybe we can find some new resource chests before invincibility ends. To be honest, I've been driving since 8 yesterday and can hardly keep going. Big brother, you are really tough. The number of people in the chat channel gradually decreased, with many choosing to continue driving forward. Yili was no exception. The earlier encounter with the two wolves had completely erased his drowsiness. He closed the chat channel, turned on the music player, and sang loudly as he drove. Ding! Soon a notification sound rang from the screen. Resource box detected 30 meters to the right of the vehicle. Yili stopped the car. He adjusted his gear and jumped down quickly. To save time, Yili ran at full speed. He soon spotted a cheetah lying ahead with faint snoring sounds. Yili rushed over. The cheetah seemed to sense something, opening its emerald green eyes. Yili was already in. He brought the iron axe down towards the cheetah's head. It was a clean and decisive strike without any hesitation. Roar! A deep voice echoed. The cheetah was about to rise to counterattack. Yili would not give it this chance. He picked up the iron axe and struck down again. Bang! A heavy blow. The cheetah, which had just raised its head, fell down again. Yili seemed to hear the sound of its skull cracking. The cheetah kept whimpering, as if begging for mercy. Yili would not let it go. As a fine young man of the 21st century, mercy towards enemies is cruelty to oneself. This saying has deeply rooted itself in people's hearts, revered as a classic. Bang, bang, bang. Yili swung the axe down at the cheetah's neck 5 or 6 more times until the notification sound appeared in his mind. Only then did he stop. Do you want to collect the cheetah's corpse? Collect. Obtained leopard meat 30, a leopard skin 1, gold coins 5. Yili directly stored all these items in his space ring. He approached the treasure chest. It was yet another common bronze treasure chest. Yili opened it. Obtained beef burgers 5. Obtained plastic 5. Obtained blueprint for vehicle-mounted water condenser standard. Yili stored the beef burgers and plastic into his space ring. He looked at the blueprint in his hand. Blueprint for vehicle-mounted water condenser premium. The condenser will automatically absorb moisture from the surrounding environment and purify it into pure water with an efficiency of 3050 L per day. Materials needed: iron ingots 10, plastic 30. Usable once. A high-quality water condenser. That's 2 levels above the ordinary. With this, won't I be the king of pure? Yili dashed back to the car and opened the chat channel. Mineral water clearance sale: 1 bottle of mineral water for 15 plastics. Hurry up, only 2 bottles available. What the hell? Am I still asleep? 15 plastics can be exchanged for 1 bottle of water. It's Yili again. Yili, how much water have you been hiding from us? Did you drive the car into the river? Yili, I don't have plastics, but I have a heart that loves you. Can I exchange it for iron ingots? Rubber works too. These 2 bottles of water are mine. If anyone tries to snatch them, it's like they're going against me. Xiao Tian. What the hell? Who do you think you are? So domineering. Yili is your family, huh? Ding. You have received a trade request. Yili didn't care who it was, just clicked to see that it was for 30 plastics and directly agreed. Yili, trade completed. What? Who is that? Who's so fast? I was still counting my plastics. Step up and admit it, otherwise when we meet later, I won't let you off. It's me, Xiao Tian. And Lan, I remember you. I'm waiting for you to find me. The chat channel was filled with tension. A group of people had already started cursing. All accusations pointed to Xiao Tian. Exchanging 15 plastics for a bottle of water was practically a gift to them. Everyone wanted to seize this bargain. In the end, one person snatched it away. Who would be happy about that? It's just that they couldn't find him now. Otherwise, the people in the chat channel could easily tear Xiao Tian apart. At this moment, Yili, who instigated the dispute, had already placed the blueprint and materials for the water condenser on the workbench. High-quality car-mounted water condenser successfully produced. Would you like to install it now? A prompt sound echoed on the screen. Install. It must be installed as soon as possible. As Yili's words fell, a clang echoed from the top of the car. Yili looked up, and a water tank-like object appeared out of thin air on the roof. Inside the car, a soft hose extended down from the roof along the car frame. The hose had already begun to generate water vapor. Drops of water started to trickle out of the hose. Yili hurriedly placed an empty mineral water bottle under the hose and secured it with an iron ingot. Given the current humidity of the outside air, the water condenser could produce a maximum of 50 liters of pure water. This means he could obtain at least over 2 liters of water every hour. A mineral water bottle has a capacity of 500 milliliters, so he would need to change the bottle 4 times each hour. The main issue was that he didn't have that many mineral water bottles to rotate. Even if he had a large appetite, it wouldn't be possible to drink 4 bottles every hour. Thus, Yili returned to the chat channel and sent a message. Who has the blueprint for a water container? I can trade a bottle of water for it. Yili, look at me, I'm your son. Damn it, how much water do you have? Are you mining mineral water with your lifespan? Yili, let me lick a bit. Ew, I want good luck too. I want to lick too. Slurp slurp. 1-1. Yili felt a chill. He suddenly felt that his body was unclean. Ding. A prompt sound echoed again on the screen. Lu Ting, Yili, I'm so thirsty, can you give me a bottle? If we meet later you can have your way with me. Yili glanced at it, almost dropping his eyes to the ground. Goodness. So beautiful. That figure. That face. Save the picture. Block the friend. All in one go. Yili was afraid that if he acted too slowly he would really be bewitched by this woman. Ding ding ding. A series of prompt sounds rang out. Yili checked them one by one. Some were worshipping big shots, familiar faces. Some wanted to freeload. Others wanted to exchange resources. He ignored them all. Ding. Li Chinga, hello, I have a blueprint for an ordinary car-mounted water tank that can store up to 50 liters of water. Is that okay? This guy has contacted me 3 times already. Could he be an NPC arranged by the system? Whatever is lacking is given to me. Yili looked at the familiar name and couldn't help but complain. He quickly typed back yes. The two quickly completed the trade. Blueprint for car-mounted water tank ordinary can store 50 L materials required plastics 20, iron ingots 5. More plastics needed. Yili looked at the 13 bottles of water left in the back of the car. After pondering for a moment, he finally resolved to take out 2 bottles to trade. As long as he could make the car-mounted water tank, he could save a lot of trouble. Just as Yili was preparing to shout in the channel again, another prompt sound echoed. Li Chinga, I have 20 plastics here, do you need them? System playing like this really makes me feel like I'm not involved at all. Yili continued to complain in his heart. He quickly replied, yes, I can exchange it for 750 milliliters of mineral water. Li Chinga, thank you. Thus the two completed another trade. After exchanging the plastics, Yili quickly made the water tank. The water tank was large, standing between the seat and the workbench. Yili placed the hose from the water condenser into the water tank. That way he wouldn't have to worry about it for over a day. When there was plenty of water, he could directly take it out to sell. Thinking of this, Yili seemed to have already imagined himself sitting in the car counting money. After finishing all this, he simply ate 2 hamburgers and drank half a bottle of water. He continued to drive forward. With these things suddenly added to the car, it felt like the van was overloaded, unable to move. Yili stepped on the accelerator, making it roar. The van's speed only reached 50 kilometers per hour. He glanced at the car's fuel consumption. From the original 7 liters per 100 kilometers, it had now changed to 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. The tank of gasoline from yesterday had already run out. He added the 20 liters of gasoline obtained from the resource box and continued on his journey. The sky gradually brightened. When it reached 8 o'clock, another prompt sound echoed from the screen. Congratulations, everyone, you have successfully survived the first day. I believe you all have a better understanding of this world. From now on, you will lose your invincible status. Please continue to work hard. A life only comes once, cherish it well. A reminder, the first disaster, eternal night, will occur in 2 days. The system prompt ended. All fell into silence. Even those still dreaming seemed to sense something and opened their hazy eyes. Even the noisy chat channel messages ceased refreshing at that moment. The displayed number of online users in the channel 31251. In just half a minute, it became 31240. This meant that at the very moment the invincibility time ended, 11 people had already perished. What should we do? What should we do? What are we supposed to do? Did you notice that the online count in the channel has decreased by 11? It's only been less than half a minute, and 11 have already gone offline. Did they die? Damn it, I don't want to play it. I want to find my mom. I want to find my wife. Let me go back. I want invincibility. Just let me be invincible for one more day. Brothers, there are wolves all around my car. What should I do? Who can save me? My car was overturned by a lustful bull, and it's now trying to climb inside. Who can help? Fear and anxiety erupted the moment the invincibility time ended. Yili parked the car on the road, looking at the number of people in the chat channel. Half an hour had passed, and besides the initial 11 who died, no one else had perished. In fact, those 11 people had all miscalculated the invincibility time. The moment it vanished, they failed to react, thinking the beasts wouldn't harm them. It was carelessness that led to their demise. Yili considered this possibility. However, now he was staring at the majestic lion lurking not far away. Yili's heart raced. Sooner or later, I have to face it. Let's do this. He murmured to himself, climbed onto the workbench at the back, and crafted 2 iron axes. Then he wrapped his pant legs with 2 pieces of torn cloth. Without the invincible protection, a mere snake or scorpion could take his life. He had to be cautious. He prepared protective gear for his legs. Yili jumped down from the car and cautiously approached the lion in the distance. As he got closer, the lion also noticed Yili's presence. Roar. It stood up and roared at Yili. It warned Yili that this was its territory and told him to leave. Yili felt fear in his heart, but he gazed at the silver treasure chest beside the lion. He didn't want to retreat. He couldn't retreat. If it came to a fight, he still had a gun, right? In front of a desert eagle, everyone was equal. Even lions were no exception. Yili reached a position he deemed suitable. The lion was already preparing to pounce. Without hesitation, Yi Li threw the iron axe in his hand at the lion. Swish! The lion swiftly dodged to the side, avoiding the first axe. However, it did not anticipate that the second axe followed closely behind. Chop! The axe blade struck its head perfectly. Although it did not cause significant damage, it still drew blood from the lion's head. Feeling the pain on its head, the lion became even angrier. As the king of the prairie, it could not tolerate someone causing trouble in its domain. Roar! With a roar, the lion lunged forward with incredible speed. However, Yi Li was already prepared. As the lion charged, Yi Li swiftly dodged to the side. He was not slow either. After all, he had undergone training with gray wolves and mutated night demons the previous day. How could he be easily tackled? While dodging, he even took out a third iron axe from his space ring. Finding the right moment, he swung the axe at the lion's belly. Compared to its head, the lion's belly was much more vulnerable. Swish! The iron axe was still quite sharp. With one swing, a conspicuous red mark appeared on the lion's belly. The lion let out a roar of pain, its body turning sharply as a paw the size of a sandbag swiped toward Yi Li's head. If that paw hit him, even if his head didn't shatter, he would suffer a concussion. Yi Li dared not take it, he'd swiftly retreating. He would rather fall than be hit by that paw. Seeing Yi Li fall, the lion lunged again. Bang! The lion's body was still in midair when a cloud of blood mist erupted from its head. Blood and brain matter splattered everywhere, staining half of Yi Li's face red. The lion's corpse fell from the air. Yi Li hurriedly rolled aside to avoid being crushed by the lion's body. Huff! Looking at the lion's corpse, Yi Li rubbed his somewhat numb arms. The recoil of the Desert Eagle was no ordinary force. Firing one-handed was still a bit challenging for him right now. If it weren't for the lion charging at him, he doubted he could shoot so accurately from a distance. A handgun is definitely more effective. Yi Li gathered the lion's corpse. Obtained lion meat X100, lion skin X1, lion whip X1, gold X8. Lion whip, consuming it replenishes energy and enhances vitality. How considerate. Yi Li looked at the 10-centimeter piece of meat in his hand, storing it carefully. He collected everything else as well. Yi Li approached the silver treasure chest, rubbing his hands in excitement, preparing to open it. Roar! Suddenly another lion's roar echoed. Yi Li looked into the distance, seeing a lioness quickly charging towards him. There's actually another one. This time, Yi Li firmly gripped the Desert Eagle with both hands, aiming at the lioness. He only pulled the trigger when she was within 5 meters of him. Bang! The gun spewed forth lethal flames. A cloud of blood mist erupted from the back of the lioness' head. Her legs gave way, and she fell right in front of Yi Li. Do you want to collect the lioness corpse? Collect. Obtained lion meat X100, lion skin X1, gold X8. What a pity it's a female, no little cubs. Yi Li lamented as he collected everything, turning to look at the silver treasure chest at his feet. With an excited heart, he opened it. Obtained rice, 25 kilograms, X1. Obtained toilet paper, normal crafting blueprint. Obtained car structure, normal crafting blueprint. Obtained Tang Hung knife, excellent crafting blueprint. Looking at the 3 crafting blueprints in the box, Yi Li was somewhat stunned. It was worth the risk he took in braving danger to come open this silver treasure chest, wasting 2 bullets in the process. He gathered everything. Yi Li quickly returned to the car. After all, he no longer had the invincible status. He felt extremely unsafe being outside for even a minute. Back in the car, Yi Li organized his items. He then took out the 3 crafting blueprints one by one to examine. The blueprint for making ordinary paper requires minimal materials. Moreover, it can be reused. At least he won't need to use leaves or dirt to wipe anymore. This signifies a successful step into a civilized society. Then Yi Li picked up the second blueprint for the structure of a car. It requires 200 iron ingots and is for one-time use. The material requirements are quite demanding. Glancing at the water tank behind the car, he noticed it already contained over 6 liters of water. Yi Li wasn't in a hurry and turned to the third blueprint. The blueprint for making the Tang Hung knife boasts a more powerful attack. It requires 2 fine iron and 1 wood and can be reused. He wondered if anyone had managed to create it. Yi Li attempted to place the iron ingots on the workbench for fusion, but unfortunately, there was no response. So Yi Li returned to the driver's seat and opened the chat channel, offering to sell bottled water in exchange for iron ingots or iron crystals. Wow, it's Yi Li again. Many people exclaimed in the chat channel upon seeing his presence, although he didn't chat often. However, he was undoubtedly the first person in the chat channel to exchange water for goods. Almost everyone had his name etched deeply in their minds. Yi Li, how much water do you have? It feels like you're not playing the same game as us. Yes. From yesterday until now, I've only managed to get 2 bottles of water, which is barely enough to drink. Is this what it means to play a game with a lifespan? How frustrating. Clearly some people are just too focused on the wrong things. Wasn't the question about the fine iron? Yi Li ignored those comments. Anyway, his message had already been sent out. Those in need would naturally contact him privately. Closing the chat interface, he opened the trading mall. The items inside were dazzling. Iron ingots, wood, plastic, rubber, and various other materials. There were also some meat chunks and animal skins which had low value. After all, everyone could obtain them from resource boxes. Some people in the mall were also selling bottled water at outrageous prices. Each bottle of water required over 50 units of materials for exchange. Such sellers were mostly just flaunting their resources. Although people had only been in this world for a day, they already understood the preciousness of materials. Not to mention whether anyone had over 50 units of materials. As long as they weren't on the brink of death from thirst, no one would foolishly trade such abundant resources. Yili spent quite some time browsing the mall. There was nothing particularly valuable, not even a single crafting blueprint. There were absolutely no iron crystals. After some thought, Yili decided to list a bottle of mineral water. The trading method was set as negotiation. Anyone wishing to trade would need to agree first. 500 milliliters of water for 2 iron crystals or various crafting blueprints. The mineral water bottle is included. Contact me directly if interested, be honest, and those just looking for freebies will be blacklisted. Before long, various notification sounds echoed on the screen. The private message page suddenly filled with 99 messages. Yili went through them one by one. Most were people wanting to trade 15 iron ingots for water. Yili casually traded away 10 bottles of water, receiving 150 iron ingots. With the previous 61 iron ingots, he had gathered all the materials needed for the ordinary car structure blueprint. After announcing in the chat that he wasn't trading iron ingots for now, he approached the workbench and crafted the ordinary car structure. The ordinary car structure has been completed. Would you like to replace the original car structure? Replace. As Yili's voice fell, a white light enveloped the car. When the white light dissipated, the originally rusty and pitted car structure was instantly revitalized. Inside the entire car, everything except the seats was new. All the various wires were also hidden away. Yili stepped out to take a look. The car's exterior had also become brand new, shining with a silver glow under. The only downside was the 2 yellow headlights and the nearly worn-down tires, which lowered the car's overall aesthetics. Yili returned to the car and finished reading the remaining private messages. Several people wanted to trade plastic. Yili recalled the ordinary fuel tank blueprint he had obtained earlier. So he exchanged 1,500 milliliters of water for 45 pieces of plastic. He successfully upgraded the fuel tank from the waste level to the ordinary level. The fuel tank's capacity increased from the original 20L to 40L, and the fuel gauge dropped significantly. After finishing the remaining private messages, Yili found no one had offered fine iron. Thus he prepared to continue onward. Just as Yili was about to set off, another notification sound rang out. Xiaotian brother, how about 1 fine iron for a bottle of water? This item is much harder to come by. There's only one in a silver treasure chest. No negotiation. Yili replied directly. He glanced back at the water tank, which still had 5L of water. Although it was a decent amount, he was the only one in the entire channel selling water. Only a fool would undervalue themselves. Xiaotian. At this moment, Xiaotian sat in his car, looking quite disheveled. Earlier he had found a silver treasure chest. Surrounded by over a dozen gray wolves, he had to exert considerable effort to defeat them all and successfully open the silver treasure chest. He had originally hoped to find a few bottles of water inside to quench his thirst, only to discover a bag of flour and other materials. Among them, the most precious were 2 pieces of fine iron. Other materials were given in tens, but fine iron was only 2 pieces. It felt smooth and heavy. It was clearly a higher grade material than iron ingots. Xiaotian browsed through the trading mall, where the prices of water all soared above 50 units of materials. Moreover, all were materials he could use at this stage. The only price he found reasonable was for the water listed by Yili. Compared to over 50 units of materials, 2 pieces of fine iron didn't seem as painful to part with. Finally, Xiaotian sent a private message to Yili. He had no choice, he was too thirsty. If he didn't replenish his fluids in time, the journey ahead would be extremely difficult. Xiaotian, I'll trade 2 pieces of fine iron for a bottle of water. Seeing Xiaotian's message, Yili's anticipation finally settled. Initially, he had considered whether to use half a bottle of water to trade for the fine iron Xiaotian had. Unexpectedly, the other party actually had 2 pieces of fine iron. Could he have also opened 2 silver treasure chests? Yili pondered, swiftly completing the exchange with Xiaotian, and fearing even a moment's delay might make the other retract his offer. Clutching the wrought iron, Yili hurried to the workbench at the rear and laid out the blueprint and materials to begin crafting. And ding! An exquisite tang sword successfully forged. Nas, the chime echoed. Na, finely crafted tang sword materialized upon the workbench, complete with its scabbard. Its entire surface was matte black. In the scabbard bore intricate engraved patterns exuding quiet elegance and understated sophistication. Yili lifted the blade into his hands. It weighed slightly more than the earlier iron axe, and yet its hilt fit his palm with remarkable precision and refinement. And cling! Na, resonant silvery hum rang forth. The blade slid free, cold light flashing violently before instantly receding inward. End blade length 72 centimeters, hilt length 28 centimeters, a width 2 centimeters, thickness 5 centimeters. Entirely black, except for the razor-sharp edge which gleamed with a silvery luster. None glance alone sent chills down the spine. Yelly stepped down from the vehicle and placed an iron ingot on the ground and grasped the tang sword firmly. With both hands Nan brought it down in a decisive strike. And clang. The ingot split cleanly. A 3-centimeter gash cleaved deep into its surface. Yet the sword's edge remained flawless, unmarred by even the faintest nick. And, had I possessed this blade earlier, I wouldn't have wasted a single bullet. Those 2 lions would have fallen in one stroke. Satisfied, Yelly sheathed the tang sword and returned to the vehicle and ate 2 hamburgers with a sip of water before resuming his journey. With the exquisite grade tang sword and Desert Eagle in hand, Yelly's confidence surged. Ding. Resource chest detected 60 meters to the vehicle's right. Not the chime echoing across his screen. Yelly immediately pulled over to the roadside and gathered his gear and disembarked. He scanned the grassland to his right, roughly 60 meters away. A plump, muscular wild boar darted erratically through the tall grass, chasing butterflies. Its movement was confined, encircling tightly within a 10-meter radius around a bronze treasure chest. Yelly stepped cautiously into the undergrowth. Tall weeds rose past his calves, rustling softly with each step. Shush, shush. The sound quickly drew the boar's attention. The frolicking beast halted mid-chase and turned its gaze toward him. HNNGH. Nit reared its head and let out a shrill, piercing squeal. Without hesitation it charged, fierce and unstoppable. Yelly lowered his center of gravity, then hurled 3 iron axes straight at the boar. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The first 2 missed entirely. The third struck true, blasting into the boar's skull with a thunderous clang. Squee. Pain exploded across its head, wrenching a pained shriek from its throat. It shook its dazed head vigorously, now warm trickle of blood sliding down its snout. Enraged beyond reason it lunged again. Heedless of injury, heedless of consequence. Whoosh. Anticipating the charge, Yelly sidestepped with lightning speed, twisting his torso mid-motion as he swept the tang sword in a fluid arc. Thwip. The blade sank deep into the boar's neck. Then riding the momentum of the beast's own charge and sliced cleanly from throat to rump in one seamless motion. Plop. Blood and viscera gushed from the gaping wound across its belly, staining the surrounding grass crimson. HNNGH. HNNGH. The boar collapsed its throat, emitting low guttural groans. Its 4 hooves thrashed wildly, struggling, convulsing, desperate to rise. But the wound was too grievous. And again it tried, and yet each attempt ended in failure. An astonishingly sharp blade. Yelly examined the tang sword anew, knees, hands, and clothes now streaked with boar's blood. Yet the blade itself remained immaculate, and smooth, gleaming, utterly untainted. Truly worthy of comparison to the dragon-slaying saber or heaven-reliant sword of legend. Acquired pork 100, boar hide 1 gold coin 6. So it was an old sow. Yelly murmured, shaking his head at the loot scattered across the ground. Then gathered every item into his spatial ring. Approaching the bronze treasure chest, he opened it. Acquired green apples 5. Acquired salt 500 G1. Acquired vehicle-mounted USB drive 1. Salt. Finally. Yelly lifted the salt pouch, inspecting it closely. With this, future roasted meats would carry far richer flavor. 500 grams. If conserved wisely, it would last a long time. He picked up the 5 green apples and bit into one, and crisp, refreshing, juicy, and sweet beyond anything he'd ever tasted on Earth. Finally, his gaze settled upon the USB drive nestled at the bottom of the chest. Vehicle-mounted USB driven contains a curated library of classic videos, designed to enrich your solitary journey. Not half bad. Yelly murmured, sprinting back to the vehicle to hastily wipe away the boar's blood. Then inserted the drive into the USB port on the left side of the screen. Ding. External device connected. Initiating video stream transfer. No. Yes, come on, baby. 30 minutes later, Yelly exhaled sharply. Well, I'll be damned. As a young man of the 21st century, rising, ambitious, upright, now could he possibly watch such content? He jabbed frantically at the screen, browsing the categories: Western, Japanese, Korean, domestic, bestial, adult stars. He yanked the USB drive out without hesitation. If he'd kept watching, the vehicle wouldn't move another inch that day. Rubbing his face to steady his nerves, he resumed driving. Meanwhile, the chat channel had devolved into chaos. Someone else just died. What do we do? I'm terrified. What kind of survival game is this? I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. Whoever dragged me into this world, send me home. Now. Immediately. I was chased this morning by a herd of rutting bison. Almost flipped the car, and I'm done. Someone, anyone, please save us. I'm exhausted. I can't go on. Free materials. Contact me directly if you need them. I've already passed several resource chests, each guarded by beasts. Our invincibility period has ended. How are we supposed to fight these creatures? I give up. I'm staying right here on the road. Any elder brother passing by, please take me along. Your junior brother will be eternally grateful. This morning I drank some urine, and now my stomach feels like a storm-tossed sea. Am I dying, friends? Brother, you're truly fearless. Clearly no virgin, and this immortal fairy has listed her authentic unwashed panties and silk stockings in the marketplace. Grab them fast. 1 bottle of water per item. Sister, I've got no mineral water, but I'll trade 2 iron ingots for those panties. And brothers, friendly reminder, defecating or urinating requires extreme caution. Just now I was stung by a hornet. And well, it's swollen twice its size. No way. Is that real? Send proof. Link please, and cut it off. Right now, or you'll die. And I don't want to become a eunuch. Holy hell, afraid of needles. Then cut it off. Bite down and push through. It's over in seconds. What good is keeping it if you lose your life? Yili listened to music while observing the content in the channel chat. The experiences of this person alerted him, especially upon seeing their appearance after being stung. Yili felt uneasy just thinking about it. In the future, he would not only need to survey the surroundings when using the restroom, but also act quickly and decisively. Eyes wide open, one must be aware in all directions. Before long it was noon. Yili felt a bit hungry, so he parked the car in the middle of the road, trying to stay as far away as possible from the grasslands on both sides. This way, even if poisonous insects, scorpions, or snakes emerged from the grass, he would be able to spot them immediately. He got out of the car and finished using the restroom. After stretching his muscles, he returned to the car, locking all the doors and windows. He took out the last hamburger from the pot as his lunch. At the same time, he opened the trading mall to check the trading situation within. People had already been in this world for a day and a half. Water resources remained the main issue troubling everyone. Yili had already seen some people starting to list blueprints and weapons in the mall. He glanced back at the water tank behind him. There were already over 10 liters of water inside. So Yili immediately ran into the chat channel and shouted, "It's water selling time. 1 bottle of water for 1 blueprint. Anyone who needs it can contact me. Supplies are limited, first come, first served." After Yili's message, a swarm of question marks and exclamation points. It's Yili again. Bro, are you really not an NPC? NPCs don't have as much water as you do. Appa, can I trade a raw cow whip for a bottle of water? I guarantee it's fresh. Wow, are you serious upstairs? If it's true, I can trade you my last bottle of course it's true, Appa. What a huge cow whip. You must be really thirsty, girl. Yili, I think we should help each other out. We are all from Long Country. Since you have resources, you should share them with us. Exactly. If you're from Long Country, you should distribute water for free instead of profiting here. Yeah. Why should you have so many supplies while we suffer thirst? I think it must be because Yili has too much water that we can't get any from the resource boxes. Yili is the troublemaker in our district. Let's unite against him. No one buys water, and see how he fares. Originally, Yili was just watching the excitement in the chat channel. Unexpectedly, while watching, it turned to focus on him. This is moral coercion. Yili frowned and scrolled through the messages. He remembered the name of the person who spoke, First Jiaowang. Under his guidance, the direction of the conversation in the channel suddenly shifted. Everyone started blaming him for occupying resources while not thinking about helping others out of trouble. Instead, they accused him of robbing them of their supplies. Some even believed it was because he had too much water that they were unable to draw any from the resource boxes. Yili couldn't help but laugh. Ding! Just as he was about to speak in the channel, a notification sound rang. Li Chinga, hello, I have a blueprint for a standard car tire and would like to trade it for a bottle of water. Li Chinga was anxious at this moment. Seeing the ridiculous comments in the chat channel, she almost wished to rip those people's mouths apart. Yili was currently controlling the water resource, which could be said to be controlling many people's lives. They were currently just talking big in the chat channel. What if he decided not to sell later? They wouldn't know how many people would die of thirst. To avoid the flames of conflict reaching her, Li Chinga gritted her teeth and could only trade her only blueprint in hand. She just wanted to tell Yili that those people were foolish and had nothing to do with her. As for Li Chinga, this NPC, Yili welcomed her. The trade was completed quickly. Li Chinga, I think you're a nice person. After the trade, she sent a nonsensical message. Yili smiled. He closed the private chat and returned to the chat channel where people were still blaming him. Yili, come out and say something. If you don't share the water you have from today, you are no longer one of us from Long Country. That's right, I agree. I also agree. We don't need selfish people like you in Long Country. The crowd, they had already started discussing revoking Yili's nationality. Yili, you are impressive and have integrity. I hope you continue to maintain that. From now on, 3 blueprints or 50 basic materials can be exchanged for 500 milliliters of water with water containers provided. The chat channel fell into a brief silence. Then it erupted suddenly. Yili, don't you fear losing your virtue by doing this? Yili, I haven't said anything. Can I still trade 500 milliliters of water for 15 iron ingots like before? You upstairs have some shame. You would die without water. Exactly. Without water you can survive for 3 days. I don't believe you can't find a bottle of water in that time. Yili Im from the Long Country Security Bureau. We can discuss this. I think we should help each other as citizens of Long. As the saying goes, the rich should help the poor. It's not easy for everyone. Moreover, your mineral water is all drawn from the resources with minimal cost. I think it would be enough for everyone to pay a small amount of materials. Acting like a capitalist and being independent is not beneficial to any of us. You see, even the officials are speaking out. What else do you have to say, Yili? Yili, please watch the video. The crowd opened the video Yili filmed. A hand holding a bottle of mineral water is watering the grass. Wow. A group of people were stunned. Let a lightning strike him dead. Immediately, various nationalistic sentiments erupted in the channel. Yili did not care at all about what was being discussed in the chat channel. He had already plugged a USB drive into the screen. He found a Japanese and Korean action movie learning new techniques, while simultaneously reviewing the blueprint he had just traded from Lichinga. Blueprint for standard car tire. Materials needed: rubber 10, iron ingot 3, can be used 4 times. Oh, what a pity, no rubber. Yili sighed helplessly. His luck with opening boxes was indeed very good, but it was precisely because it was too good that the most basic resources became extremely scarce. I should save it for later when I open more boxes. He placed the blueprint on the workbench behind and comfortably took. The weather at noon was not hot. A cool breeze even blew in through the cracks of the glass, bringing a touch of comfort. By the time Yili woke up, it was already 2 in the afternoon. The screen occasionally emitted a series of notification sounds. From time to time, friend requests and private messages popped up. Some were insults directed at him. Others wished to maintain the previous resource transactions. Yili ignored all the insults by blocking those who sent them. There were also some who wanted to keep the previous resource exchanges. Yili, 3 blueprints or 50 basic materials for 500 milliliters of water, no bargaining. He saw the message he had sent back. Everyone's faces turned green. Each bronze treasure chest could only yield 3 types of items at a time. Each type of material could produce 5 units. Even if a bronze treasure chest contained only materials, it could yield a total of only 15 units. Yili directly asked for 50 units of materials. The supplies from 3 treasure chests were insufficient. The resources they had painstakingly gathered for half a day could ultimately only be exchanged for a bottle of water. Everyone couldn't help but curse Yili as a profiteer and capitalist. Yili did not care about their thoughts at all. He observed outside the vehicle and found no signs of danger. He got out to wash his face. He filled the fuel tank with the last 40 liters of gasoline and drove forward, listening to Star-Lord's exclusive BGM. Yili's body swayed with the tremors of the car. Ding! Just as he was immersed in the BGM, unable to extricate himself. Another notification sound rang out from the screen. Detected a resource box 80 meters to the left of the car. Yili immediately stepped on the brakes. He turned off the BGM and looked towards the grassland on the left. In the grass over there, a group of adorable little white rabbits were hopping around grazing. After observing for a while, he found no signs of fierce beasts. Could it be another poisonous snake or something? Yili couldn't help but feel a sense of vigilance. In a sense, poisonous snakes and scorpions are more terrifying than lions and tigers. After all, those fierce beasts are large. They can be seen at a glance. If one cannot defeat them, they can still run away. However, those poisonous snakes and scorpions hide in the dark, ready to launch a surprise attack at any moment. A single bite or sting could be fatal. Yili sat in the car and contemplated. In the end, he decided to go and take a look. Yili found some scraps of cloth and tightly wrapped his calves. He jumped down from the car holding a tang knife and pushed aside the grass in front of him. Confirming that there was no danger around, he quickened his pace towards the location of the treasure chest. The little white rabbits scattered, seeing someone approach. They all jumped away and burrowed back into their burrows. Soon Yili arrived in front of the bronze treasure chest and circled it twice. He did not find any signs of fierce beasts. There were no poisonous snakes or scorpions in sight either. For safety's sake, Yili took out an iron axe from his spatial ring and threw it at the chest. Clang! The axe struck the chest, producing a sound of metal clashing. Still, there was no danger present. Am I being too sensitive? Yili wondered as he cautiously walked up to the chest. Standing at a distance, he pried open the chest with his tang knife. A golden halo spread out. Yili immediately jumped back. The golden halo faded away, and still there was no danger. Only then did Yili feel relieved to approach the chest and look inside. Acquired iron ingot 5, acquired rubber 5, acquired ordinary transmission blueprint. Yili collected. He quickly ran back to the car and glanced at the blueprint in his hand. Ordinary transmission blueprint requires materials iron ingot 50, can be used once. Yili curled his lips and tossed the blueprint into the trunk. He continued to drive forward. Ding! Detected a resource box 60 meters to the right of the car. Yili quickly parked the car. He looked towards the right grassland. A leopard cat was pouncing on a rabbit in the grass. Yili approached and swiftly dealt with the leopard cat. Then he arrived in front of the bronze treasure chest and opened it. Acquired iron ingot 5, acquired melon seeds 500G, 1 acquired ordinary car engine 1. Yili returned to the car with his spoils. The surroundings gradually darkened. The evening glow on the western horizon was as brilliant as yesterday. Yili got back in the car and checked the time. It was already 7:30 in the evening. Yili did not plan to move on. While there was still some light, he cooked a bag of instant noodles and sliced the 2 chicken legs he had obtained yesterday, cooking them thoroughly. Paired with the seasoning packet from the instant noodles, a pot of freshly made braised chicken noodles was ready. Yili took a picture of the pot of noodles. Then he sent the photo to the chat channel. Yili, hey, delicious cooked noodles. It's a pity there are no sausages or eggs, but having chicken legs is nice. Damn. At this time, most people chose to park and rest preparing dinner. When they saw what Yili was eating and then looked at their own charred meat chunks, they all started cursing. Yili, you bastard, you won't die a good death. Yili, just go ahead and eat, you won't choke. Why is the gap between people so huge? I still haven't opened anything that can start a fire relying on 2 bags of bread I found yesterday to get by. We're almost dying of thirst, and you still have the nerve to cook noodles with water. Yili, do you deserve to be a citizen of the Dragon Kingdom? Yili, being your compatriot is my disgrace. Brother Yili, I not only want to be your compatriot, but also your woman. If you give me a bite of noodles, just 1 bite, I'll let you see below. Yili ate while glancing at the pictures. Goodness. 2 eye bleeding. All his appetite was gone. Yili hurriedly closed the pictures and blocked the woman who sent them. Yili, haha, I just love seeing you all wanting to hit me, but can't. People saw the message Yili sent and immediately gritted their teeth in anger. They wished they could dive into the screen and beat him up. Yili, I'm full now, gonna take a shower. I haven't washed in 2 days, I'm smelling terrible. I want to build a convoy to hunt down Yili. Who's joining? Me 1 2 him in 2. No matter who it is, if they dare to associate with Yili, they're our enemy. We must hunt him down together. Exactly. Let's hunt him down together. Yili bit into an apple, watching the messages people were sending in the chat channel with a smile. It was more interesting than opening treasure chests. Ding, ding, ding. One notification after another rang out from the screen, and there were also several friend requests. Yili ignored all the friend requests and then looked at the private messages one by one. Marong, Yili, I apologize for speaking too loudly at noon. Please, I beg you for a bottle of water. I'm about to die. I still prefer your earlier rebellious and spirited demeanor. Yili finished replying to the messages and directly blocked and deleted them. Initially, there had been quite a few people talking about him. Yili still did not know who they were. Unexpectedly, one had come to throw themselves into the net. Not blocking and deleting would be an insult to him. Yili continued to look down. Some were cursing at him, while others were actively seeking trades with him. The water in the marketplace was already in short supply. Even if someone posted a high price for 50 units of materials, they would be snapped up instantly. Many people still couldn't get it. Now, a bottle of water in the marketplace had already skyrocketed to the price of 100 units of materials, or even more. These people were no longer selling water. They were merely treating the trading marketplace as a temporary warehouse. At the same time, they were showing off to others. They were the ones with water. People love to flaunt what others do not have. That feeling of being sought after is facing these people's private messages. Yili was unbothered by the trouble. Outside, the sky had dimmed safely. He had plenty of time to reply to these messages. Most were inquiring about the price of purified water. Yili answered them all. 3 blueprints for 500 milliliters of purified water, or 50 units of materials for 500 milliliters of purified water. Bring your own water bottle. No bargaining. For those who wanted to negotiate, Yili chose to ignore them. After all, he couldn't block everyone. What if someone came to their senses later? Such things were not unheard of. Just as he was replying to the messages, 2 people had already approached him for trades. They all paid 50 units of materials. Oh, I used to be too kind. Yili looked at the large amount of materials piled up in the car, filled with regret. If he had done this earlier, the entire car could have been completely renewed by now. Big guy, can I exchange 10 iron ingots, 10 glass shards, and 30 wood for a bottle of water? Okay. Big guy, I have a blueprint for a sports jacket, a blueprint for casual pants, and a blueprint for a plastic bottle. Can I exchange them for a bottle of water? What are these things? Yes. Everyone was condemning Yili in the chat channel, boycotting Yili. Yet behind the scenes, they all rushed to him to exchange for supplies. Soon the water in the storage tank ran out. All of it was exchanged for resources and blueprints. The private chat notifications on the screen kept ringing. Yili had no choice but to return to the channel and shout, "Today's water sales end here. If you need it, come back." The busy chat channel was suddenly filled with a barrage of question marks and a list. Who secretly sought Yili to buy water? Step forward. I am ashamed of your behavior. A bunch of shameless things, lackeys. Not drinking water. Will that make you die of thirst? Yili silently watched the messages in the channel. Many people stood up to condemn. Among them, several had traded purified water with him earlier. At this moment, they were shouting in the group, yelling against exploitation and monopoly. From now on, when we see these people, just rob them and feed them to the lions. Yili watched for a while, then took the few blueprints he had obtained today to the workbench and began crafting. Ding. Ordinary car tire created successfully. Do you want to replace it? Replace. Ding. Ordinary car engine created successfully. Do you want to replace it? Replace. Ding. Ordinary car transmission created successfully. Do you want to replace it? Replace. Massage seat. Ordinary crafting blueprint materials required iron ingot 2, rubber 10, fabric 10, animal skin 5. Can be used twice. Craft. Ding. Ordinary massage seat created successfully. Do you want to replace it? Replace. Yili browsed through the blueprints in his hand. The resources exchanged for water this time were mostly materials. There were only a few blueprints. Apart from this massage seat, everything else was meant to enhance living comfort. A collapsible barbecue grill, clothes, pants, shoes, gloves, foot bath basin. He organized all the blueprints and placed them on the workbench. Yili returned to the driver's seat. Sitting in the comfortable massage seat, his entire body felt incredibly relaxed. It was much better than the broken chair that had been uncomfortable before. Yili opened the vehicle information to take a look. The fuel consumption per 100 kilometers had dropped to 6.5. The interior of the car was completely renewed. Only the 8 glass panels were still bruised and battered. Occasionally, a gust of wind blew in. Yili made 2 sets of clothes at the workbench to cover all the windows, preparing to lie down and rest. At that moment, a series of notification sounds rang out on the screen. Ding. Lichinga, hello, do you still have water? I want to exchange for water. An NPC has come. Upon seeing that name, Yili couldn't help but smile. He originally thought that this NPC would not come today. However, in the end, they still came. Sure, it's the same price as before. Lichinga, are materials okay? Yeah, Yili replied. Soon Lichinga initiated a trade request. Received iron ingot 15, he finished collecting the materials. Yili prepared to rest. However, another series of notification sounds rang out on the screen. Yili got up to check. Lichinga requests to add you as a friend. Agree. Is there something? Yili actively sent a message to ask. I can't sleep and want to chat with someone for a while. Lichinga replied. Oh. Yili responded. Then both sides fell into silence. Are you a boy or a girl? After a while, Lichinga sent another message. Yili was almost asleep. Drowsily glancing at the message, he replied, male. Oh. Again, there was a long silence. How old are you? Lichinga sent another message. The only response was Yili's snoring. Lichinga waited for a long time with the screen, but did not receive a reply from Yili and sighed deeply. She was indeed a bit bored and wanted to chat with someone. These past few days, she had been searching for supplies, driving, and searching for supplies. She had hardly communicated with anyone. The most she had interacted with was Yili. However, it seemed that this person was unwilling to chat with her. Lichinga had no choice but to return to the chat channel, watching those people chat out of boredom. Until now, those people were still mostly discussing Yili. Do you think Yili has so much water? I can't believe he got it all from resource boxes. Could it be that he really drove the car into the water? You see, he even makes us bring our own bottles when trading water, which is clearly not mineral water taken from resource boxes. Isn't it mineral water? Lichinga looked at the water bottle beside her. When she opened it earlier, it indeed had not been unsealed. Thud! The violent impact jolted Yili awake. He instinctively grabbed the Tang Dao beside his seat and looked out the window. The beast outside also raised its head to look at him. It was a lion's head. Man and beast stared at each other for 2 seconds. A deafening lion's roar came from outside the vehicle first. Like a thunderclap from the heavens, it swept in with boundless power. Yili felt as though his eardrums were about to burst. He instinctively covered his ears, and his entire brain hummed with sound. Bang! Another dull thud echoed. Yili saw the lion outside slap its paw against the car window. The entire vehicle shook violently. The already cracked window could hardly withstand the pressure, with dense spiderweb-like cracks spreading across it. Damn it! Yili hurriedly crawled from the driver's seat to the back of the vehicle. He grabbed the Desert Eagle in his hand and opened the window a crack. Roar! The lion saw Yili move to the back and let out a thunderous roar. It turned its head and came closer, raising its paw to attack again. Bang! Yili had already extended the gun out of the window, and as the lion raised its paw, he decisively pulled the trigger. PFF. A cloud of blood mist erupted from its left brain, and the lion's movement halted abruptly. In the end, it fell straight to the ground. Seeing the lion collapse, Yili quickly closed the window and scanned the surroundings through it. After not finding any other dangers, Yili breathed a sigh of relief and returned to the driver's seat. Surely there won't be beasts attacking every night. Yili looked at the Desert Eagle in his hand. Each bullet was precious. If attacks like this occurred every night, his 34 bullets wouldn't last long. What if he encountered a pack of beasts later? Even 34 bullets might not be enough. With a sense of unease and anxiety, Yili fell asleep again. When he woke up again, the sky was already bright. The sunlight streaming through the window felt warm. He glanced at the time. It was 8:30 in the morning. Yili started the vehicle and drove 2 meters forward, not finding any danger. He got out of the vehicle with the Tang Dao and first collected the lion's corpse. Gained lion meat 100, lion whip 1, lion skin 1 gold coins 8. Returning to the vehicle, Yili took an apple and ate while checking the chat channel. Current number of people 30040. Since yesterday's invincibility period 1211 people had already died. Only a few dozen people had died during the day. Yet over 1,000 people had died last night in a single blow. This did not even count the injured. If the injuries were severe without medical conditions, it would be no different from a death sentence. It might even be easier to just die. The people in the chat channel were similarly engulfed in despair and panic. Over 1,000 people had died last night. Everyone was terrified. Even Yili felt fear. If he hadn't had a gun, he would have had to get out and engage in close combat with that lion last night. Who would win was uncertain. Yili, good morning everyone. I'm not bragging, but it's really nice to be able to wash my face and brush my teeth with water, and I can even wash an apple to eat. The previously harmonious atmosphere of sorrow in the chat channel was instantly shattered by Yili's appearance. Yili, how come you're still alive? You really should have died. Yili, can I have the water you washed your face with? I want to drink your washing water. You upstairs, can you have some ambition? Would you drink my foot washing water? If you really have foot washing water, I'll drink it. Yili, when will you sell water again? I want to drink water. Yili, you've sent so many photos, why haven't you replied to me? Send them to me, and I'll reply. You upstairs, aren't you afraid you're just a big perverted girl? Get lost. Ding. Just as Yili was pondering what to do next, a notification sound rang through the screen. Lichinga, good morning. This NPC talks quite a lot. Yili looked at the private chat message and couldn't help but complain. He had been so drowsy last night. He hadn't even heard the notification from Lichinga. Yili, good morning 20. Lichinga, Yili, didn't you ask how? Lichinga, I was just asking casually. It's dawn, let's keep going. Yili shook his head and didn't continue sending messages. He started the vehicle and drove forward. After the upgrade from last night, the car's speed could now reach 80 km. If he accelerated further, the car's chassis began to creak. Yili was not in a hurry. After testing the car's top speed, he slowed down. Continuing at a speed of 50 km/h, the scenery along the way remained the same. The only difference was the uneven horizon farther from the road. Yili was very curious to see if there were any treasures deep in the grasslands. However, reason told him, if you don't seek death, you won't die. Yili thought about it and gave up. After all, losing a life for mere curiosity was not worth it. The vehicle continued to move forward. The large amount of study material on the screen made the journey less dull and tedious. Ding! Just as Yili was immersed in studying and seriously contemplating combat techniques, a notification sound came from the screen, instantly pulling Yili's attention back. Detected a resource treasure chest 40 meters to the right of the vehicle. Yili looked out the window to the right. 2 tigers were stationed there. One tiger was napping beside the treasure chest, while the other patrolled around. The treasure chest glimmered with a silver glow in the sunlight. It was evidently a silver treasure chest. Yili took a deep breath, adjusting his state of mind. He held the desert eagle in one hand and the Tang Dao in the other as he got out of the vehicle. Dealing with 2 kings of the forest, Yili dared not be careless. He slowly approached the direction of the treasure chest. The patrolling tiger noticed the approaching enemy at the first moment. It stopped and warily looked at Yili. The tiger, resting on the ground, flicked its ears a few times, opened its eyes, and turned to look at Yili. Roar! The 2 tigers let out a series of roars in succession. Their sound was so loud it seemed to shake the entire grassland. All around, whether beasts or insects scattered in panic. Some timid creatures were even so frightened that they bled from their orifices and fell to the ground dead. Yili's footsteps also paused. The roar was even more shocking and heart-pounding than the lion's roar. Every cell in his body urged him to retreat and flee. But could he escape? Of course. He could not. Yili stood 40 meters away from the 2 tigers. He made a classic gesture towards them. Come here. Although Yili's voice did not resonate as powerfully as the tigers, it was by no means weak, leaving the tigers momentarily stunned. What is going on? I am the king of beasts. In front of me, even the smallest creature should think twice. How dare a mere bipedal beast provoke me? The 2 tigers exchanged glances and emitted low growls. After a brief communication, one of the tigers suddenly lunged forward, pouncing in Yili's direction. Only one. Who do you think you are? Yili's gaze was cold. His body tensed, and he drew his Tang Dao. When the tiger pounced in front of him, bang! A gunshot rang out. The charging tiger lost its balance immediately. It collapsed before Yili, its head completely penetrated. Blood mixed with brain fluid bubbled out. After a notification appeared in his mind, Yili pointed his Tang Dao at the frozen tiger and shouted, "Come here." The tiger trembled in fear. That gunshot was no less powerful than their roar, and even made the king of beasts feel a twinge of trepidation. If you don't come over, I'll come to you. As Yili spoke, he moved closer to the treasure chest. 30 meters. 20 meters. 10 meters. Yili stopped again. He noticed the tiger was moving. Just as Yili stepped into the 10-meter range of the treasure chest, the tiger finally bared its fangs. It roared fiercely and charged at him. Ow! Bang! Before the tiger's roar faded, another gunshot rang out. The tiger that charged over swayed, its body crashing into Yili due to inertia. Yili hurriedly jumped. He narrowly escaped being crushed by the corpse. My bullets! Yili sorrowfully tucked away the desert eagle and began to collect the 2 tiger corpses. Gain tiger meat 200, tiger whip 1, tiger skin 2, gold coins 20, collection complete. Yili approached the silver treasure chest. He opened the treasure chest. Gained barbecue seasoning set 1, gained fruit wine common recipe 1, gained good quality gasoline 401, 1, gained ordinary explosive proof window recipe 1. Yili looked at the 4 items revealed. Yili was quite satisfied. He packed the items and quickly returned to the vehicle. Yili then began to examine them one by one. Fruit wine common recipe common fruit wine, a small drink lifts the spirits, excessive drinking is counterproductive. Materials needed fruit 1, a water 500 milliliters can be reused. After reading the description, Yili went to the workbench in the back. He placed a green apple and 500 milliliters of water on the table and began to craft. Soon a bottle of green liquid appeared on the workbench. Yili opened the bottle and smelled it. There was no distinct alcohol scent, just the sweet aroma unique to green apples. He took a small sip. Instantly, a refreshing feeling washed over him. He stored the green apple wine away and looked at the good quality gasoline. There was no special description. It was just more durable than regular gasoline. The specific effect would have to wait until it was used. Finally, Yili looked at the second recipe he acquired this time. Ordinary explosive proof window recipe. Compared to ordinary windows, it can more effectively withstand violent attacks. Note: do not attempt to use it to block bullets. Materials needed: glass shards 100, rubber 10. Usable times 8. Yili looked at the usage count. Just enough to replace all the glass in the van. Yili organized all the glass shards he had replaced last night, totaling over 500 pieces. Just enough to craft 5 pieces of explosive-proof glass. As for the remaining 300, Yili was not in a hurry. He directly sent a message to the channel. Yili collecting glass shards. If anyone needs water, trade them for glass shards. Yili, go die. We won't buy your water, even if you kill us. Yili glanced at it. He closed the chat channel and continued to learn new knowledge. By noon, he had gathered all 300 glass shards. The glass in the entire vehicle was renewed and even had anti-peeping treatment. From the outside, one could see nothing inside. From inside, however, everything was crystal clear. Yili tried knocking on the window. Although he did not use full force, it certainly wouldn't shatter like last night when a lion could break it with a paw. At noon, Yili assembled the portable retractable barbecue rack and skewers he had collected last night. He cut the tiger meat and tiger whip he obtained today into small pieces and began to barbecue. The smoke curled up, evoking a sense of outdoor cooking. Yili enjoying life, loving life. Today's outdoor cooking check-in. Damn, it's Yili again. You must have a lot of materials to have set up a barbecue rack. I'm so furious. If you have the guts, share your location and he'll bring 100 pounds of meat to visit you. Why should I? Why do you get to use a barbecue rack to grill meat? There's nothing to envy. Whether you have a barbecue rack or not, it's the same. Without seasoning, it all tastes the same. Exactly. So superficial. Is having a barbecue rack really that impressive? I have a purely natural fire pit, and the meat I grill is even tastier. Yili let you down. I not only have salt, but also barbecue seasoning. It's really impressive to have a barbecue rack. A grilled meat with wine, the more you eat, the better. Yili sent a sizzling piece of meat to the chat channel. It was sprinkled with cumin pepper and chili powder. Just a glance made one drool. Most infuriating was that there was also a bottle of apple wine beside it. Instantly, it triggered a wave of lamenting. Stop calling him Yili, call him No Heavenly instead. Yili, please, I haven't had delicious meat in a long time. I've lost weight. Can you give me a bite? I can prove it to you with a video if you don't believe me. The one above if you show me I have instant noodle seasoning, and it's also very tasty. I just want to eat Yili's meat. Yili, I want to drink. Give me a sip of wine. I haven't had any for 2 days. Why do you have wine? We don't even have water. No Heavenly. Yili, you're a scoundrel. Brothers, I'm heading out now. I'm going to crash into him. Let's go. Top 1, top 2. Ding. A private message appeared on the screen. Lichinga, hello. I want to buy 5 skewers of grilled meat. What's your price? 1 skewer of meat, 1 portion of basic materials. Yili replied. Transaction complete. Lichinga, thank you. Close Li King's private messages. There are more messages waiting for him. Yili glanced through them one by one. Some wanted to exchange for barbecue, while others wanted to swap for fruit wine. Yili set a unified price. 1 skewer of barbecue could be exchanged for 10 basic resources. 10 milliliters of fruit wine could also be exchanged for 10 basic resources. Yili, you are going too far. A chorus of wails and accusations suddenly erupted in the chat. They all had chunks of meat in their hands. Those with fire-starting tools could roast the meat. However, the appearance and flavor of the grilled meat were nowhere near as good as that produced by Yi Li's professional equipment. Moreover, many people did not have any seasonings. Some didn't even have fire-starting tools. They had to go to the marketplace every day to buy barbecue. The prices were not high. A piece of barbecue was enough for them to eat for a day. However, the tasteless barbecue was truly hard to swallow. After receiving Yi Li's prices, many left behind curses, choosing to close the screen and gnaw on their own. Some, however, cursed Yi Li's ancestors in their hearts, yet still chose to trade for a skewer to try it out. After the transaction was completed, these individuals first took their screens and snapped pictures of the skewers. Then they quickly posted them in the chat channel. Not showing off would not do justice to the 10 materials they spent. This skewer is truly delicious. Not only is it tasty, but the meat chunks are also large. Yi Li is truly generous. One skewer can fill you up. Hey, you above, do you want to get face? It sounds like you grilled it yourself. Fool. Hee, I exchanged my resources for it, can I show off? A bunch of poor bastards can't even afford a skewer, still dare to complain here. Be careful, if I run into you, I'll wipe you out. After Yi Li dismissed all the private messages, a lot of barbecue had been sold. However, not a single milliliter of fruit wine had been sold. After all, 10 basic materials could only be exchanged for 10 milliliters of wine, which wasn't enough for a single sip. It was better to trade for bottled water. Looking at the dimension ring stuffed with various materials, Yi Li declared he no longer wanted to work hard. He listed all the materials on the trading mall. The current mall was still in the free phase. It served as an excellent storage warehouse. He put away the barbecue grill. Yi Li returned to the car and lay on the seat preparing for a nap. He hadn't felt much earlier when he was under the car. At this moment, lying in the car, he suddenly felt an overwhelming heat. This effect is too strong. Yi Li felt troubled. Originally, he just wanted to taste a bit. Now his entire body was surging with qi and blood, making it hard for him to calm down. Forget it, let's keep moving. Yi Li sighed helplessly. In this state, he simply couldn't sleep. He could only drive forward. At this time, he didn't even dare to look at his study materials. He had to open the chat channel on the screen and started paying attention to the discussions inside. Without him, the others finally shifted their focus to other topics. Brothers, who has rabies vaccine? I just got bitten by a dog and am really anxious. Question: in this world, if bitten by a dog, will one get rabies? Your question is great. From a scientific perspective, yes, but from a non-scientific perspective, no. You analyzed well, but don't analyze again next time. I'll just wish you good luck. Brothers, I just saw a spectacle. Video. Yi Li curiously clicked to take a look. Good heavens. It was a large wild boar mating scene. The sight was extremely chaotic and unbearable. Yi Li quickly closed the video, rubbed his face to calm down. Hey, aren't you joining? I'm a human, not a pig. Question: without reproductive isolation, if a human mates with a wild boar, will they produce a human or a pig? Your question is great, please don't ask again next time. I think from a scientific perspective, without reproductive isolation, if it's a male pig and a woman, they would likely produce Zhu Beiji. If it's a man and a so, it might be Zhu Ganglai. How do you explain that? One looks relatively good, the other looks fierce. Hearing your words is like a revelation, better than reading 10 years of poetry. Yi Li question: what should one do if they run out of water? Damn it, Yi Li, get lost. Get out. This chat is better left untouched. The atmosphere in the chat channel, which had just harmonized, plunged back into chaos due to Yi Li's appearance. These people really have poor psychological quality. Yi Li watched as the chat channel fell into a frenzy again, shaking his head and sighing. At that moment, a new message caught Yi Li's attention. Hee, Yi Li, don't think you're so amazing. I have water now. Yi Li glanced at the name of the person who sent the message. It was Zhaoong, who had led the instigation that day. Brothers, I know why Yi Li has so much water. I just opened a blueprint for a small water condenser that can generate 10 liters of water daily. 10 liters. A small water condenser. That's fine then. Yi Li ignored it directly. Wow, Zhaoong is so awesome. Zhaoong, you said that we people of Long Country should help each other. You won't ignore us, right? Don't worry, I won't take advantage of everyone like Yi Li. I'm planning to form a convoy. As long as anyone along the way wants to join my convoy, I will provide 1 liter of pure water free of charge daily. My water is limited, first come first served, and this is all I can do. I want to join. I want to join too. I'll join as well. Zhaoong, check your private messages. This is what it means to be a person from Long Country, unlike that petty Yi Li who only thinks of himself. Zhaoong, from now on you are my idol. On the wide road, 2 cars were parked side by side. Zhaoong was leisurely lying in the car looking at the private messages. In the messages, many attractive women above the passing mark sent him tempting pictures and videos. Beside him in the passenger seat sat a man who curiously asked him, Ongo, are you really planning to give water for free to those people, eh? Am I out of my mind? Why would we give the water we worked so hard to obtain for free to them? Just keep enough for us to drink and sell all the other water at Yi Li's prices. From now on, we won't have to risk going to the grasslands to open resource boxes every time. Zhaoong's eyes were filled with greed as he coldly stated. The so-called free water provision was just a method to gather people. When someone comes to him for water, he could easily say it was given to the other members of the convoy. After all, no one. Ongu is brilliant. Ding. Yili received another private message on the screen. Lichinga, hello, are you watching the chat channel? Yili, I am watching. Lichinga, is what they said true? Yili, it's true. Lichinga, no wonder you need a water container. Yili, Lichinga, be careful. They are forming a convoy likely to target you. Yili replied, understood. He sighed internally, realizing that this NPC was quite kind-hearted. The car moved forward for a while. The fuel gauge on the dashboard once again hit empty. Yili had no choice but to stop and pour all the high-grade gasoline he obtained in the morning into the tank. Returning to the car, he checked the fuel consumption. Current car fuel consumption 6L per 100 kilometers. The fuel consumption had dropped by another 0.5 L. 40 L of gasoline was enough for him to travel over 600 kilometers. Yili continued driving contentedly. Just under 100 meters later, a notification sound chimed from the screen. Ding, a resource box has been detected 40 meters to the right of the car. Yili stopped the car and looked towards the right grassland. About 40 meters away, a majestic wild buffalo was leisurely grazing. Next to it, a silver treasure chest shimmered brilliantly under the sunlight. Yili got out of the car and cautiously walked over. His calves brushed through the grass, making a rustling sound. The wild buffalo glanced at Yili with a hint, then it continued to lower its head and graze, seemingly genuinely hungry. It wasn't until Yili was 10 meters away that it raised its head again. Moo! The buffalo showed a flash of annoyance in its eyes and let out a long bellow, warning the intruder not to come closer. Yili promptly stopped. He exchanged glances with the buffalo and threw the iron axe he had prepared earlier. Thud! The buffalo was a large target, and Yili's axe struck its head perfectly. The sharp blade carved a gash on the buffalo's face, and the buffalo instantly became furious. If it couldn't eat in peace, then it would eliminate the source of disturbance. The buffalo lowered its head, aiming its horns at Yili. Gathering momentum, it charged out at high speed. Yili remained completely unfazed, having witnessed the speeds of cheetahs, tigers, and lions. The buffalo's speed was nothing in his eyes. He threw both of his other axes out. The buffalo ignored them. Even though it had already been wounded, it still aimed to stab 2 transparent holes into the person who interrupted its meal. All 3 axes were thrown. Yili tightly gripped his tang dao, ready to dodge. As the buffalo charged right in front of him, he seized the opportunity and swiftly sidestepped to the left. At the same time, he raised the tang dao and swung it down towards the buffalo's neck. Swoosh! The tang dao sliced through as if cutting through tofu. Without encountering any resistance, it left a shocking gash on the buffalo's neck. Moo! The buffalo let out a deep, mournful groan. The sturdy and robust body crashed heavily to the ground. After twitching a few times, it completely lost its breath. Do you want to collect the buffalo's corpse? Collect. Gained buffalo meat 300, buffalo hide 1, buffalo horns 2, milk liters 10 gold. Now I can have milk. Yili looked at the 10 bottles of white milk in front of him, smiling like a child as he collected everything. Yili approached the silver treasure chest and opened it. Gained bright flashlight 1, gained beast skin bracers common crafting blueprint, gained car headlight common manufacturing blueprint, gained healing ointment common crafting blueprint. 3 blueprints were opened at once. Yili collected the items and quickly ran back to the car to check one by one. First was the bright flashlight. With the bright sun overhead, it was hard to tell how powerful the light was. Beast skin bracers common crafting blueprint. Materials needed: beast skin 1, iron ingot 1 reusable. Yili took the blueprint and went to the back of the car, retrieving the buffalo hide and iron ingot he had just collected. He placed them on the workbench and began crafting. Soon 2 black bracers appeared. Iron plates on the outside, buffalo hide on the inside. Wearing it on his arms, it snugly wrapped around his forearms. It was very tight. Yili took out the iron axe and gently scratched the bracers. Only a few scratches appeared on the iron plates. Experiment completed. Yili looked at the second blueprint. Car headlight common manufacturing blueprint. Materials needed: glass shards 2, plastic 10, electronic components 1. Usable times 2. Yili prepared the materials and placed them on the workbench to craft. Ding! Common car light crafted successfully. Would you like to replace it immediately? Replace. Then Yili looked at the third blueprint. Healing ointment common crafting blueprint can treat some minor injuries. Effectiveness is quite good. Materials needed: raw meat 50, wood ash 30, wood 10 reusable. A must-have artifact for surviving in the wild. Yili looked at the contents of the blueprint, his eyes shining. He prepared the materials and crafted. Ding! Healing ointment crafted successfully. Gained healing ointment 10. Looking at the 10 packets of ointment in his hand, Yili felt an overwhelming excitement. He originally thought that so many materials could only produce 1 packet. To his surprise, he produced 10 packets at once. As for the effectiveness, Yili was curious, but he wasn't about to cut himself to find out. He put away the healing ointment and got out of the car, circling around it. All 4 headlights were replaced with new ones. The originally yellowed headlight housings were now clean and shiny. Now the van looked brand new from the outside. Returning to the car, Yili drove while keeping an eye on the conversations happening in the chat channel. Many were still discussing Zhaoong forming a convoy with the condensation device. Now, many people had openly expressed their intention to form a convoy. However, since people did not know each other's locations, many were just chatting idly in the channel. I want to form a convoy made up entirely of women. Any girls want to join? Wow, it's not even dark yet. Are you still daydreaming? I also want to form a convoy. I want to become the king of the road, and I'm looking for 11 companions who wants to join. Could it be that the person above also has the surname Mingqi? You guys just keep chatting? Zhaoong has water and resources and can form a convoy. What makes you think you can? With your flower buds. Is Yili around? Yili, hurry up and form a convoy. I want to join. With a selfish person like him, you still want to rely on him. Be careful not to get sold out, and then help count the money. Yili, I'm not interested in forming a convoy, but I'm very interested in selling things. I have healing ointment specifically for treating various injuries. No matter if you've been bitten by a dog, kicked by a donkey, or gored by a pig, just apply the ointment, and you'll see immediate effects, and it's quite cooling too. Truly the best choice for home travel and wilderness survival. Healing ointment. It's Yili again. I'm going crazy. Why are all the good things is this road owned by his family? I want it. How much is the healing ointment? I need 3 blueprints or 100 basic materials. If it's rare materials, the price can be negotiated. Yili quickly replied, 100 basic materials. Why don't you go rob them? Exactly, you might as well go rob a I'm a serious merchant. Besides, isn't this faster than robbing for resources? Yili casually responded in the chat channel. Many people saw this message and were so angry they almost twisted the steering wheel. If you need anything, just contact me directly. If you don't need anything, don't bother me, or I'll blacklist you. After sending the message, Yili continued driving forward. Ding, ding, ding. Soon various private messages started flooding in. Yili, I offer 50 iron ingots, 20 pieces of wood, 20 animal skins, and 10 plastic. Quickly give me a healing ointment, urgent. Urgent. Yili opened the private message. This person kept sending him messages. He didn't know how seriously they were hurt to be this anxious. That made him so anxious. Sorry, I don't want animal skins. If you have other materials, you can exchange them, or if not, Yili pulled over to the side and decided to deal with these private messages first. Dad, Grandpa, I just got scratched by a tiger and am bleeding from my chest. I'm really about to pass out. Please give me one. I'm begging you. The man saw Yili's message and his already pale face turned even whiter. Tears streamed down his face uncontrollably. I can take 5 animal skins, gather the remaining 15 materials. I'm counting on you. After sending the message, Yili began reading the second message. I have 2 pieces of fine iron. How much can I exchange for? 1 piece of fine iron counts as 5 materials. What? This is fine iron produced from a silver treasure chest. You can only get 2 pieces from 1 chest. The man saw Yili's message. His expression turned extremely ugly, and he quickly edited a message to send. However, he waited a long time without getting a reply. At this moment, Yili had already started looking at other private messages. Those who were cursing, asking for freebies, or disputing the price were directly ignored. It was clear that they weren't in a life-and-death situation. Otherwise, how could there be so much unnecessary chatter? Yili, I have a blueprint for a regular car air conditioner. Is that okay? Yili opened the private message. It was the first person to contact him. Sure, of course. I want to take advantage of you. I don't need 20 animal skins. Yili quickly replied. The man hurriedly initiated a trade request. The speed was so fast that it caught Yili's attention. The transaction was completed quickly. The man looked at the ointment in his hands. It was dark and looked quite disgusting. However, he had no choice. He hurriedly applied the ointment to his chest. When it first touched his skin, it felt quite cool. However, soon a hot sensation began to emerge at the wound. Accompanied by an unbearable itch, it felt as though countless ants were crawling on the wound. The man wanted to scratch, but dared not. The flesh around the area was turning inside out. Scratching would only make the wound worse. However, he could feel that after applying the ointment, it seemed to have stopped the bleeding. The previously alarming wound was healing at a very slow pace. This discovery almost made the man leap out of the car in excitement. He had almost given up hope. He never expected to come back from the brink of death, even if it meant sacrificing most of his resources. But as long as he could survive, there was still hope. If he died, no amount of resources would matter. Excited, the man's hands trembled slightly as he typed in the chat box, healing ointment is effective 5-star rate. The man uploaded a photo of his wound to the chat channel, instantly causing an uproar. Dude, did you scratch your artery? Dude, how are you still alive after losing so much blood? Is this black stuff the healing ointment? It looks like it has already stopped the bleeding. Yili never expected that the man's 5-star review would ignite the entire chat channel. Many people began to private message Yili. Even those who weren't injured wanted to trade for a healing ointment. After all, in the wild, facing those monsters, injuries could happen at any moment. When the time comes to need it and find out there's none, it would only be regret. It's better to stock up in advance and be prepared. Meanwhile, Yili had already started looking at the blueprint in his hands. Blueprint for making a regular car air conditioner. Materials needed: iron ingots 5, plastic tin, electronic components 1. Usable times 1. Yili decisively placed it on the workbench to craft. Ding. Regular car air conditioner crafted successfully. Would you like to install it? Install. As Yili's voice fell, a white light shot out from the workbench, landing on the car's central control panel. Yili climbed back into the driver's seat and began to study it. The car air conditioner could not only adjust the temperature, but also circulate air inside and outside the vehicle. It was very considerate. Now the temperature inside the car was quite comfortable. After testing the air conditioner's function, Yili turned it off and continued to check the private messages on the screen. In the past few days, everyone had faced off against beasts to open treasure chests. Many had sustained different degrees of injuries. Thus, there were still quite a few people messaging Yili privately. However, most chose to trade with materials. Some wanted to use blueprints. Yili glanced casually. Most were useless or of low practicality. These people treated Yili's place as a garbage dump. Yili rejected them all. After selling all 10 healing ointments, he sent a message in the channel sold out and continued driving. It was already 5 in the afternoon. There were only 3 hours left until dark. These 3 hours would be the last time to see light for a long while. Yili looked at the blue sky and white clouds at the end of the road, letting out a heavy sigh. Unconsciously, he pressed the accelerator a bit harder. On the highway, Zhaoang drove while glancing at the chat channel where Yili had posted information about the healing ointment. His face was ashen. He originally thought that he was close to catching up by developing the condensation device today about to become the strongest man on this highway. However, he did not expect that Yili had once again taken a step ahead of him. The healing ointment was developed. So he began to use the same tricks in the chat channel, mocking Yili for not understanding gratitude towards the country. Not understanding how to care for his compatriots. A slew of comments followed, resonating with many. A lot of people joined Zhaoang in cursing Yili for profiting while disregarding his conscience. Water is one thing, but the healing ointment is something that can save lives. Shouldn't it be shared with compatriots? Some even inquired if Yili had obtained the blueprint for making the healing ointment. Let him selflessly contribute it for everyone to use. Reading these comments, Yili couldn't help but smile. Yili, I was wrong. I shouldn't have revealed the healing ointment to you. I should have just watched you all die. From now on, no matter who gets injured, don't come to me. Oh, I won't sell it anymore. As for the blueprint, I've hidden it in the bushes to the right of the highway. Those who want it can go find it themselves. What? Not selling anymore. Did you throw away the blueprint? What are we supposed to do if we get hurt? Everyone following the chat channel was stunned. Their pressure here was mainly to make Yili lower his price, not to throw away the blueprint. Yili, please pick it back up. I'm begging you. I'm still waiting for your ointment treatment. Yili, I was wrong. I really was. Just pick it back up. Damn it, who just said Yili doesn't care about his compatriots? If he didn't care about his compatriots, could he bring out such a precious blueprint? Definitely not me. Ooh, I've long disliked you people who say such things about Yili. Yili is doing this for us. I support Yili. I will support him too. Not only that, but I also want to be Yili's woman and have his children. You in the front, go to the back of the line. I'm first. The tone in the chat channel suddenly changed. They really didn't want to spend so many resources. However, compared to life, what are a few resources worth? Watching these people change their faces faster than flipping, Yili let out a cold laugh and continued to drive forward. It was already 5 in the afternoon. The sun was setting. There were only 3 hours left until nightfall. These 3 hours would be the last light they could see. Yili exhaled deeply, unconsciously increasing his speed. Taking advantage of the last 3 hours, he hoped to find a few more treasure chests. Ding. Resource box detected 60 meters to the left of the car. Hearing the prompt sound from the screen, Yili quickly parked the car. He looked to the left of the car, 60 meters away. A gigantic wild elephant was wandering around in circles. Each time its thick legs stomped down the ground, trembled slightly. It was as if the entire earth resonated with it. Its trunk, like an iron pillar, occasionally curled up some grass. Not far from it, there was a treasure chest radiating a golden glow under the sunlight. The wild elephant and the golden resource box. Yili's eyes widened. His body unconsciously leaned forward, wanting to see more clearly. Indeed, it was a golden treasure chest. A hint of excitement appeared in Yili's eyes. However, when he looked at the elephant, his expression became slightly serious. Without hesitation, Yili took the desert eagle in hand. Getting out of the car, he walked towards the grassland on the left. The grazing elephant noticed someone approaching and slowly raised its head, showing a hint of vigilance. Roar. The elephant raised its trunk and let out a high-pitched call, warning Yili not to come closer. Yili would never let the golden treasure chest so close slip away. His movements not only did not slow down, but instead quickened. Seeing Yili not only not retreat, but also speed up, the elephant's eyes flashed with anger. With its 4 long legs resembling towering pillars, it charged toward Yili. Looking at such a massive creature, Yili felt his heart racing. He stood his ground, gripping the gun tightly, not daring to relax for a moment. If he were to be hit by such a massive creature, his bones would probably shatter. Bang! Bang! As the elephant charged within 10 meters, Yili did not hesitate to fire 2 shots. Poo-poo. One shot hit the elephant's eye, and the other hit its roar. The elephant let out a mournful cry. Its massive body staggered a few steps forward, yet it still continued to approach Yili, albeit at a slower pace. Like a candle flickering in the wind, it could fall at any moment. Bang! Yili did not hesitate to fire another shot. Thud! Accompanied by a burst of crimson blood shooting out from the gun barrel, the elephant's massive body finally collapsed. In the moment it fell, one could even feel the earth trembling. The elephant raised its head slightly to look at Yili, its eyes filled with unwillingness and anger. It breathed heavily until its vision blurred. Only when the elephant's chest no longer heaved did Yili cautiously approach. Do you want to collect the wild? Collect. Gain quality elephant meat 1000, quality elephant whip 1, quality ivory 2, quality elephant hide 1, gold coins 20, quality elephant meat. Consuming it can enhance physical fitness. Quality elephant whip enhances kidney function, strengthens bones, increases size and girth, significant effects, making a real man in 2 hours. Treasure. Yili smiled broadly at the elephant whip, his expression akin to that of a man with a beloved wife. After collecting everything, Yili approached the golden treasure chest. Golden treasure chest can yield some high-quality materials and blueprints, occasionally rare resources. With excitement in his heart, he quickly opened the treasure chest. Gained gunpowder 15, gained refined steel 1, gained good quality gasoline 60L, gained armor-piercing bullet, common blueprint. Damn, my luck has exploded. Yili took out the blueprint from the box, glanced at it, and nearly fainted from excitement. Armor-piercing bullet, common blueprint. Can use the workbench to craft various types of bullets. Materials required: gunpowder 1, iron ingot 1, reusable. Yili took one look and ran back to the car with the blueprint and materials. He placed the materials and blueprint on the workbench. Please select the bullet caliber you want to create. Selection complete. Ding! Ordinary armor-piercing bullet, crafted successfully. Gained ordinary armor-piercing bullet 50-50 rounds. Yili still had 14 portions of gunpowder. Without any hesitation, he made all the remaining gunpowder into bullets. Soon 750 bullets were neatly arranged on the workbench. Adding to the previous 29 bullets, Yili now had a total of 779 bullets. Not much, but enough. Enough for him to indulge for quite some time. Moreover, he now had the blueprints. As long as he could encounter gunpowder again in the future, he could produce it endlessly. So he wasn't in a hurry. Yili returned to the driver's seat. He turned on his portable music player, listening to songs and humming a tune, driving leisurely ahead. The sky gradually darkened. Yili parked the car in the middle of the road. Setting up the barbecue grill, he watched the sunset while grilling. Premium elephant meat sizzled on the grill, releasing tantalizing juices. As for the elephant whip, Yili put it away for now. He didn't want to toss and turn all night without sleep. He gave the first one to the massage chair. This time he did not continue to send messages in the chat channel. He wanted to enjoy the beautiful scenery of the sunset over the grasslands in the last half hour. As the last glimmer of light faded from the horizon, the world once again welcomed darkness. Yili quickly packed up the barbecue grill and returned to the car. He locked all the doors and windows. He turned on the car lights to test the illumination. Now it could shine over 30 meters ahead. Moreover, the range of light had expanded significantly compared to before. He turned off the car lights. Yili took out a powerful flashlight and shone it outside. Compared to the car lights, the powerful flashlight could reach further. After checking all his gear, Yili reclined the seat and began to leisurely check the information in the chat channel. Number of online users, 29999. Today, 41 people died. Sigh. Tomorrow, disaster is about to strike. Does anyone have anything to say? I'm so scared. Me too. I can't even imagine what will happen if I go outside to look for supply. Fool, I can imagine. What's there to be afraid of? Just drive into the grasslands, grab the supplies, and hurry back. Can you really do that? Haha, the premise is that your car can withstand the attacks of the beasts outside. If they dismantle your car, you'll just have to wait to die. By the way, does everyone have something for illumination? As soon as this was said, the chat channel fell into a dead silence. Then a chorus of wails erupted. Damn, I forgot. I just used my flashlight to change a bottle of water this afternoon. I thought I had found such a cheap drink. Haha, intelligence is a good thing, too bad you don't have it. I'm done, I only have a lighter. No worries, if it comes to it, you can light your car for illumination. Selling torches, 100 basic resources for 1 torch. Damn, big shot, can you lower the price? I have an extra flashlight, just don't know who can afford it. I want it. I want it. As long as you give it to me, I can wah wah wah, big brother, I'm online waiting for someone to take me, please pamper me, please love me. Yili clicked in to take a look. Not bad. A bikini lady. Worth taking in. I still have 1 empty seat in my car. I wonder which sister is willing to get in. Sisters, don't be afraid. If it really doesn't work, you can just park your car by the road and wait for me to pass by. I can help you, hee. The chat channel was getting more and more distorted. It seemed that apart from these things, these people wouldn't talk about any. Ding! A notification sound rang out. Lichinga, hello, have you had dinner? Seeing the message sent by the Yili felt a bit surprised. Why was he asking if he had eaten dinner? Yes, is there something? Yili quickly what if the other party wanted to trade supplies with him? Lichinga, I heard you were selling healing ointment. Do you still have it? I want to buy a portion. Yes, 1 useful blueprint or 30 basic materials, friendly price, no deception. Yili quickly after selling the previous 10 portions of healing ointment, he made another 10 as backup. After all, there was plenty of meat, and Ash would not be lacking either. Lichinga, looking at the cute expression sent by Lichinga, Yili expressed that he couldn't understand it at all. What does that mean? Are we trading or not? Ding, you have received a trade request. Yili clicked on the trade and put 1 portion of healing ointment up for sale. Lichinga put up 30 plastics. From the current perspective, the usage rate of these things was not very high. Yili did not care too much. He was just thinking that he needed to strictly control the categories of materials in future transactions. Lichinga, thank you. You're welcome. Yili simply replied. Lichinga, can we chat for a while tonight? Sure, but it comes with a fee. 1 hour for 1 iron ingot. Yili quickly replied. Seeing Yili's message, Lichinga was both annoyed and amused. How greedy can this guy be? Lichinga, then forget it. After all, every material was obtained. Lichinga was no exception. She wasn't bored enough to trade resources for company. Yili simply. Then he returned to the chat channel. Many people were still asking for illumination tools. After much back and forth, the price for a torch in the chat channel was finally set at 10 basic materials. Time passed bit by bit. Around midnight, Yili heard footsteps outside. Before he could get up, bang! The car had already been hit. He hurriedly sat up, holding the Desert Eagle in his hand. With more bullets, Yili felt no undue panic. Looking outside, several gray wolves were circling his car. It seemed they were searching for the weak points of this iron mass. Yili counted the number of gray wolves outside. There were more than the previous 2 nights. A total of 7. 2 on the left, 2 on the right, 2 behind, and 1 in front. Yili quietly lowered the window a little. He extended the gun barrel out through the window crack, aiming at 1 gray wolf. Bang! The gunshot shattered the tranquility of the night. The gray wolf he aimed at fell to the ground in response, emitting a series of whimpers. The other gray wolves, seeing this, howled towards the sky. They quickly lunged at the window where Yili shot from. Yili hurriedly closed the car window completely. Bang, bang, bang. The sounds of impact continued outside. The wolves' claws scratched incessantly on the car door. However, their strength was not enough. Aside from leaving a few scratches on the door, they could not cause any significant damage. Yili returned to the driver's seat and quietly lowered the car window again. He shot at another gray wolf. With the death of the second gray wolf, the remaining wolves seemed to realize they were no match. They howled a few times, picked up their companion's corpse, and quickly fled, disappearing into the grasslands. Hee, these beasts can be afraid too. Seeing the gray wolf flee, Yili chuckled lightly and closed the window. After modifications, the car window kept out any wind from outside. The temperature inside the car was much warmer than before. Yili lay back in the massage chair, comfortably closing his eyes and drifting off to sleep. That night, many people spent their time in anxiety, unease, and panic. The next day, Yili was awakened by the sudden alert sound coming from the screen. The voice was not as ethereal as usual, but rather harsh. Ding! Alert, a disaster has descended. From today onwards, the world will be plunged into eternal night. Alert, all vehicles will reset, adjusting the distance between them, increasing the likelihood of vehicle encounters. As the alert sound faded, Yili felt a flash before his eyes. Looking outside again, it was still pitch black. It seemed nothing had changed. He took out his flashlight and cautiously glanced around, finding no danger. Only then did he pick up his tang knife and Desert Eagle, swiftly opening the car door and jumping out. He quickly turned to look at the top and bottom of the car. Still no danger. Yili then let out a sigh of relief and leaned against the car to relieve himself. Back in the car, he locked all the windows and opened the chat channel. Online users 28123-1876 people died last night. That was over 700 more than the night before. What the hell is going on? What does reset mean? Where are the beasts I killed last night? I haven't even collected yet. Ha ha ha, I'm in luck. I just reset to outside a forest, and the system reminds me that there's a resource area nearby. What's going on? There's a resource area. Hurry up and check what's inside. Be careful, the forest is much more dangerous than the grassland. Don't end up dead without finding any resources. Brothers, a group of reed monsters appeared outside my car, looking like zombies. What should I do? What zombies? Soon that person sent a picture over. He is expected there are night demons. Yili opened the image and took a quick look. Although he had seen them before, he was still startled when he opened the picture. In the image, the face of the night demon was almost pressed against the window. With its blood-red eyes peering inside, coupled with its twisted, hideous face, it looked like a vengeful spirit crawling out from the depths of hell. What the hell is that thing? It's so terrifying. Someone help me, please. I'll do anything for anyone who comes. This was sent by a girl. She sent a voice message. Yili could even hear her fear and despair at that moment. I want to pee, but I'm afraid to get out of the car. What should I do? Damn it, at a time like this, why worry about that? Just handle it in the car. If you have a container, use it. If not, just pee through the gap in the car door. I want to take a dump. Everyone don't be scared. Compared to those fierce beasts on the grassland, zombies aren't that scary. Just attack their heads with weapons. The only thing to be careful of is not getting caught or bitten. If you get infected, that would be a problem. I'd rather face the beasts. Yeely, good morning everyone. Don't be afraid of being caught or bitten. I have an anti-night demon serum that works immediately. It's now available in the trading mall. If anyone needs it, contact me. Fair and square. Just 2 high-quality blueprints or 20 high-level materials will get you 1. A dead silence ensued. Everyone who saw this message was stunned. Some drivers even glanced at the chat channel while driving. When they saw the message was from Yi Li, they got so excited they almost drove into a ditch. Even Zhao Wang, who was taking a dump in the car, was so startled by Yi Li's message that he involuntarily sucked back half of what he had just released. Once again, the screen was filled with question marks. Why should I believe you? Yi Li, did you pay for this? Ming Li, are you the behind-the-scenes planner? Hurry up and tell us. Brothers, let's set a secret signal. Whenever we encounter a car on the road, honk 3 times. Beep, beep, beep. Whoever doesn't honk is Yi Li. We'll ram into him and take his supplies. Duan Yu is going to war and nothing will grow. Let's go. You idiot, you just revealed the secret signal. What good is that? What the hell, those zombies aren't zombies, they're called night demons. Brother, your focus is really strange. Shouldn't we be concerned about why someone has an antivirus serum right at the start of the disaster? Ding. The screen alert sound rang out. Ma Rong, brother, Yi Li, I seek protection. I'm willing to. Yi Li clicked to see it. So ugly. Pass. He clicked on the next one. Just average. Next. Damn. Why is there a guy? And he's so small, like a sewing needle. How dare he send this? Yi Li immediately blocked and deleted him. Moving on to the next one. Terribly dark. Next one. Li Chinga, good morning, I want to ask you something. Ask. Yi Li replied. Li Chinga, are you an NPC? Huh. Yi Li looked at the message and sent a big question mark back. An NPC actually asked him if he was an NPC. Of course not. Yi Li replied. Li Chinga, oh, I thought you really were an NPC. Yi Li he. Closing the private chat, Yi Li began to prepare breakfast. Instant noodles paired with high-quality elephant meat slices. One bite down, warmth spread through his stomach. The warmth flowed throughout his body, filling his limbs with comfort. He took a small sip of apple cider. Yi Li, a new day, starts with a bowl of steaming hot wild elephant instant noodles. Attach video. Here we go again. Is it never ending? Are you that childish? Showing off all the time, what are you trying to prove? Yi Li's dad, father, the son has arrived. I don't want food, you just give me a sip of instant noodle soup. I want one too. I'll offer 2 iron ingots. Damn, 2 ingots. Are you trying to give me a beggar's meal? I'll offer 100 gold coins. Gold coins can be taken out so easily. Who doesn't have them? I'll offer 120 coins. Yi Li, you've ruined this for others. They really want a bowl of steaming hot instant noodle soup. Just as Yi Li sent the message to the chat channel, a prompt appeared on the screen. Instant noodle soup transaction completed. Gained iron ingots 10. So fast. Yi Li couldn't help but marvel at the speed of these people. At that moment in the chat channel, a group of people lamented. Whose hand is so quick? I just opened the shop. Damn, even a bowl of soup was snatched so fast, have some decency. No matter who it is, can you leave me just a sip? Just 1 sip, I'll trade 1 iron ingot. Yi Li, if you have soup that you can't finish in the future, just come to me for a trade, no need to put it in the shop. Why should I give it to you? I'll take all of it from now on. Many people in the group were still arguing. Yi Li was already driving on the highway. Although still on the prairie due to the darkness, the entire road felt eerily quiet and profound. Yi Li drove for an hour straight. A notification sound rang out again on the screen. Ding. Detected a resource box 40 meters to the right of the car. Yi Li parked the car across the road. He shone the car lights towards the prairie. In the faint light, he could see a shadow swaying 40 meters away. The eerie green eyes glinted in the darkness. Yi Li put on his headlamp, held a powerful flashlight in his left hand, and a Tang Dao in his right, swiftly getting out of the car. He shone the flashlight around, but found no danger, quickly walking into the prairie on the right. Under the beam of the flashlight, Yi Li finally saw the beast's appearance. It was a wolf. A gray wolf. It stood there alertly watching him. Rustle. As Yi Li approached, the gray wolf let out a roar and charged at it. A lone wolf not very strong in combat. Yi Li didn't wait, but charged directly at the gray wolf. The gray wolf's head was severed. Gained wolf meat 10, wolf skin 1, gold coins 2. Yi Li quickly ran to the bronze treasure chest. He opened the treasure chest. Gained copper ingot 5, gained gasoline 20L, gained leather armor normal crafting blueprint. Yi Li quickly stored the items and ran towards the car. Only after locking the car door did Yi Li let out a heavy sigh and look at the obtained blueprint. Leather armor normal crafting blueprint. Different animal skins provide different defense materials required. Normal animal skin 2. Iron ingot 5 can be reused. Yi Li rummaged through the pile of animal skins for a long time. He only had 1 piece of normal animal skin left, which was cowhide and had a higher defense. Finally, he had to take a stroll through the trading market. There were skins of various animals inside. In the end, he exchanged 2 iron ingots for a piece of cowhide. Along with the previous piece, he had exactly 2. Ding. Gain normal level cowhide armor. 1. Yi Li eagerly put on the cowhide armor. It was made entirely of black cowhide. It had a high collar that protected his neck. It extended down to the top of his buttocks. Some places were inlaid with iron plates for embellishment. 2 iron discs were inlaid on the front and back at the heart area. It resembled the heart guard on ancient armor. It felt heavy when worn. Yi Li tried it on for a moment and then took it off. Driving was already tiring. Wearing this while driving would be even more exhausting. It wasn't that dangerous in the car, so there was no need to wear it while driving. He could put it on again when he needed to get out of the car. The car moved forward. Yi Li controlled the speed at 30 kilometers per hour. Then he focused on the chat channel. Brothers, I've encountered a resource box. What should I do? Should I get out of the car? Should I get out or not? Don't be afraid, we are with you. Amen. Actually, there's nothing to fear. I went down just now and had a good harvest, obtained a crafting blueprint for car parts, which means I can upgrade my car. Suddenly, someone posted a video in the chat channel. Yi Li curiously clicked to watch. In the video, a man was trapped inside his car. He was holding a gasoline can in his arms. Outside, a group of night demons surrounded his car. Among them, 2 night demons had even smashed the car window and were leaning halfway inside. Their claws waved at him continuously. The man looked pale and weak. Tears were glistening in his eyes. Brothers, I really might die. He gasped weakly. I hope everyone seeing this video can do me a favor. My wife is named Li Xiofan. If anyone is lucky enough to encounter her in the future, please pass on a message. She is the love of my life, but I can no longer be with her. Please take good care of yourself. After a moment of silence, he continued, choking with emotion. Also, everyone must remember resource areas are very dangerous. Never ever go in alone. They are filled with night demons and beasts. The man's voice grew weaker and his face paler. Though it was hard to see clearly, he surely had sustained serious injuries. Damn, how great would it be to have a cigarette right now? Just let me smoke a cigarette, even if it's just one puff. I could stand up and take down a few of them. The man showed a bitter smile, his eyes filled with endless unwillingness and anger. As he spoke, more night demons broke the car window and pounced inside. Yi Li could even see that the night demon behind the man had opened its mouth, its sharp fangs aimed at the man's. The man seemed to sense something. He stretched out his trembling right hand and struggled to light a lighter. Without any hesitation, he ignited the gasoline can. Boom! The flames burned. The video ended here. The once lively chat channel suddenly fell into complete silence. It was as if time had frozen. Everyone was shocked by the heart-stopping scene in the video, filled with indelible fear and anger. Fuck! Damn night demons. Come on, let's kill them. After a while, a wave of curses erupted in the chat. Everyone wanted to express their inner emotions in this way. That was all. No one would sympathize with that man. In fact, after watching the video, many people wouldn't even remember the man's name or his wife's name. People would only feel fear. Fearful that one day they would end up like that man, surrounded by a group of ugly night demons, trapped in a desperate situation. Oh my, I was just envious that he encountered a resource area, but I didn't expect it to be so dangerous. Yeah, I hope I don't encounter it. Woo, I am even more scared. I'll just park my car by the roadside and wait for a kind brother to take me away. Because of that video, no one dared to jump out and say anything foolish. Sigh, perhaps I should just hide in the car and sell supplies. Yi Li murmured quietly. However, he pressed the accelerator a bit harder. He increased the speed of the vehicle. By noon, Yi Li looked at the fuel gauge, which was nearing empty. He reduced his speed slightly, preparing to find a place to stop for refueling. After advancing about 500 meters, a huge black shadow suddenly appeared, coming closer on the highway. It came into Yi Li's view as it emerged under the light. Yi Li clearly saw the full form of the shadow. It turned out to be a van. Moreover, it was a very old van that clearly hadn't been upgraded. Following the principle of caution, Yi Li chose to speed up and drove past from the other side of the road. Ding! Detected a resource box 70 meters to the right of the car, just as Yi Li was about to pass that old van. A prompt sound suddenly rang out from the screen. Hiss! Yi Li slammed the brakes and stopped. He looked towards the right side of the highway. At that moment, he had a clear view of the old van parked there. The entire vehicle looked as if it had never been upgraded. It still appeared in its original dilapidated state. Through the window, he could see a small black man sitting inside. He was also looking towards Yi Li. After 3 days without encountering any living souls, it was unexpected to meet someone on the very first day of the disaster. Just as Yi Li was pondering what to do, the window of the van on the right rolled down. A man shone a flashlight towards him. Hey! The man called out, greeting Yi Li. He had stopped his car here because he received the prompt from the screen. In the vast wilderness, darkness enveloped the surroundings. He dared not get out of the car easily to take risks, so he kept the car parked here. As he was contemplating whether to go over or not, unexpectedly another vehicle approached. The man couldn't help but feel a surge of vigilance. However, when he pointed the light at Yi Li's van, his eyes widened. It turned out to be a brand new vehicle. Clearly, it had been upgraded. The roof was equipped with some unknown device that looked very high and far better than his own shabby vehicle. Moreover, the lights of that vehicle illuminated farther than his. If only I could steal that guy's car. The man licked his lips, already fantasizing about how to take the car. Hey brother. He called out to Yi. Yi then rolled down his window a bit, looked at the man, and asked, "What's up?" "Brother, you must have received the notification too, right? There's a treasure chest on the grassland. Let's cooperate and check it out, what do you say?" The man sincerely invited him. Yi did not respond immediately. He was contemplating the risks of this collaboration. With his current strength, he didn't really need to cooperate with anyone. However, if he didn't cooperate, the man would definitely not just stay in the car. Yi was also reluctant to leave directly. What if that treasure chest was a high-level one? Missing it would mean a huge loss. After much contemplation, Yi nodded and said, "Let's cooperate." Upon hearing this, the man's heart suddenly perked up, and he discreetly concealed a short dagger at his waist. Then he walked down from the car with an iron axe in hand, standing by the car door waiting for Yi. Yi did not. He quickly donned a leather armor, put on an outer coat, donned a headlamp, and took his Tang Dao as he exited the vehicle. Seeing Yi's equipment, the man's greed increased. The headlamp and Tang Dao were far superior to his own gear. With the headlamp, he could free his hands and wouldn't need to waste one holding a flashlight. With that Tang Dao, his combat power would at least double. He then looked at Yi's vehicle and concluded that there must be countless treasures inside. "Let's go." Yi intentionally stood 4 meters away from the man. At this distance, if the man intended to make a move against him, he could swiftly draw his gun in retaliation. All right, together. Yi's vigilance was evident, yet the man did not appear overly eager. After all, maintaining caution when encountering strangers in the wilderness was completely normal. If a person had no caution at all, there were only 2 possibilities: either they were a fool or a bandit. The 2 of them walked, one in front and the other behind, circling around the man's van, heading towards the grassland. "My name is Duan Wei. What's your name, little brother?" At this moment, the man's thoughts were entirely focused on Yi. He wanted to lower Yi's vigilance through chatting. "Li Qing." Yi casually picked a fake name. In the world of martial arts, who doesn't have a pseudonym? If he directly told the man his name was Yi, who knows what kind of trouble it might bring. His name was still somewhat famous in this area. "Li Qing," Duan Wei murmured, seemingly recalling something amusing, chuckling lightly. "Do you know the Ma family triangle kill?" "Huh," Yi replied in confusion. "It seems you don't play games." Duan Wei smiled. Yi lazily ignored him. He had already spotted the treasure chest ahead on the grassland. It was a silver chest. Nearby, 4 gray wolves were surrounding it, their eyes glowing green. Watching them vigilantly, he thought, "Damn 4 wolves. Thank goodness I didn't get down alone earlier." Duan Wei felt relieved. At the same time, he took a couple of steps back, looking at Yi, a hint of ruthlessness flashing in his eyes. "Li Qing, brother, what do you think? Let's be fair, 2 wolves each, and the items in the resource box will split them in half. If there are blueprints or equipment, we can trade for materials or other things." Yi stated directly without any hesitation. Since they were cooperating, they naturally had to clarify the benefits to avoid disagreements later. "Good." Duan Wei nodded in agreement. Yi continued to move forward while intentionally creating a certain distance between him and Duan Wei. As the 2 approached, the 4 gray wolves finally let out a series of sharp howls and charged at the 2 of them. They also split into 2 teams. 2 wolves lunged at Duan Wei while 2 lunged at Yi. After 3 days of combat, even 2 gray wolves could not stir any ripples in Yi's heart. He quietly stood still, waiting for the 2 gray wolves to get closer. The 2 wolves coordinated remarkably well, one coming from the left and the other from the right, approaching Yi. Yi took out the iron axe and threw it at the gray wolf on the left. "Oh, whoa!" A cry of anguish rang out. The iron axe struck the wolf's head, stunning it for a few seconds. Taking advantage of this brief moment, Yi sprang into action. He charged towards the gray wolf coming from the right, swiftly wielding his blade to split the wolf's body in half, its warm entrails spilling onto the ground. Then he quickly lunged towards the left, similarly slaying the gray wolf charging at him. Clean and efficient without any hesitation. Yi's battle here was swift and decisive, leaving Duan Wei dumbfounded. Meanwhile, he was being attacked by 2 gray wolves, though he handled it with ease. However, it did take quite a bit of effort. After collecting the gray wolf corpses, Duan Wei looked at the Tang Dao in Yi's hand, his eyes filled with fervor. With a single strike, he could cleave a gray wolf in half, and the blade bore not a trace of blood. It was truly a dream knife. "Brother, how powerful is this knife? Is it for sale?" Duan Wei ran up to Yi, speaking as he drew closer, attempting to close the distance between them. "If you want it, I can sell it to you for 20 pieces of refined iron." Yi smiled, taking a few steps to the side, once again creating some space between them. "Damn, you little brat's so damn alert." Duan Wei cursed inwardly as he saw Yi move away, though his face remained impassive. He glanced at the treasure chest not far away and called to Yi, "Let's go open the treasure chest. It's not safe outside. After we open it, we should hurry and leave." Yi nodded. The 2 quickly ran to the treasure chest, which was not very large, forcing them to close the distance significantly. At this moment, they were merely a meter apart. Duan Wei cast several sidelong glances at Yi Li, constantly watching for the best opportunity to ambush. Li Qing, brother, you open the treasure chest. The two stood on either side of the chest. You go ahead. Yi Li shook his head and stepped back a few paces. Seeing Yi Li step back, Duan Wei's eyes flickered for a moment. He nodded and smiled, saying, then I'll open it, and my luck has never been very good. No problem. Yi Li smiled. Duan Wei, seeing this, focused on Yi Li and slightly bent forward to open the chest, while Yi Li's gaze remained fixed on the silver treasure chest. As the treasure chest opened, there was no golden light spreading out. It seems not everyone has my talent for opening, Yi Li muttered to himself, looking at the items inside the chest. Iron ingot, tin, cream puff, tin, refined iron, 2, blueprint 1. What are all these worthless scraps? Yi Li frowned as he looked at the items in the chest, which were far inferior to what he had opened himself. Duan Wei paid no attention to the materials and cream puffs. After opening the chest, he immediately picked up the blueprint, his face showing a hint of excitement. Li Qing, brother, we hit the jackpot. It's a crafting blueprint for good quality equipment. As Duan Wei spoke, he moved closer to Yi Li, simultaneously holding the blueprint up for Yi Li to see. Hearing it was a good quality item, Yi Li's frowning brow involuntarily relaxed as he took the blueprint that Duan Wei handed over. Fishing rod, normal crafting blueprint. Seeing the grade on the blueprint, Yi Li's brow furrowed again. He didn't even look further down, but instinctively glanced at Duan Wei. The latter had already taken the opportunity to close in on him, brandishing a dagger that he didn't know where he had drawn it from, and lunged at his chest. Yi Li hurriedly stepped back. Sizzle. An excited smile appeared on Duan Wei's face. He had succeeded. However, the next second, a sharp, piercing sound rang in his ears. The sensation from the dagger and the crisp sound were definitely not that of piercing flesh. Bang. Then Duan Wei felt a heart-wrenching pain in his lower body. The soul-rending tremor made him drop the dagger. He fell to the ground, clutching his lower body. Both of his jewels were surely shattered. He could feel it. Damn. Sneaking up on me. Don't you know I practiced martial arts before? Yi Li looked at the torn clothing on his chest, his face darkening. He kicked Duan Wei on the head again. Oh, ow. Duan Wei let out a low, mournful howl. I was wrong. Big. Brother, I truly was wrong. He struggled to speak, raising a hand in surrender. Spare me. Spare me. Tears and snot covered the man's face, his heart filled with despair. Both were shattered. He could only be a eunuch from now on. However, he no longer had a future. Yi Li, enraged from the ambush, would not let him off, kicking Duan Wei's head repeatedly. If it weren't for his quick reflexes and the cowhide armor he was still wearing along with the heart guard, that knife just now would have seriously injured him. Bang, bang, bang. As Yi Li continued to kick, the sounds Duan Wei made grew fainter until finally he made no sound at all. Do you want to collect the corpse? Collect. Gain scraps of cloth, tin, iron dagger 1, iron axe 1, flashlight 1, gold coins 4. Collection complete. Yi Li looked at the corpse beneath his feet. It did not disappear like other beasts or night demons, but lay bare on the ground. Huh. Yi Li took a deep breath, collecting all the items from the treasure chest, quickly returning to the road. As for Duan Wei's corpse, the wilderness was not lacking in beasts that would digest corpses. Passing by Duan Wei's car, Yi Li thought to open the door and see if there were any treasures inside. However, a prompt sound echoed in his mind again. Unattended vehicle detected. You can choose to change vehicles or collect the vehicle. Change vehicles. Looking at the dilapidated van before him, it was clearly not as good as his own. Yi Li would certainly not consider changing. Collect. Vehicle collection complete. Gained iron ingot 5, gained plastic bottle 6, gained 298 milliliters purified water, gained half-eaten bread 1, gained iron dagger normal crafting blueprint, gained washing basin normal crafting blueprint, gained chamber pot normal crafting blueprint, gained gasoline 13L gained. Gained ordinary level car, chassis 1, gained old level car, core 1. The large van vanished right before Yi Li's eyes. Only a pile of materials remained on the ground. This guy's vehicle even upgraded the chassis. And a car core, which part is that from? Old level car core can be used for vehicle upgrades, so in the future to upgrade a vehicle, they'll have to steal the cores from others' cars. Yi Li looked at the mechanical core in his hand. It was like a mechanical sphere about the size of a lead ball, looking very complicated in design. Through the gaps on the outside, he could see the gears turning inside the sphere. Yi Li put away the car chassis and the car core. He couldn't be bothered to look at the other items. The water he had drunk and the half-eaten bread were all left by the roadside. Quickly returning to the car with the other items, ding. A prompt sound directly came from the screen. Detected ordinary level car chassis, do you want to replace it? Replace. Ding. Ordinary level car, chassis replacement complete. Ding. Prompt detected that all parts of the vehicle meet upgrade conditions. You need an abandoned level car core to upgrade. Ding. Detected that you have an abandoned level car core. Do you want to upgrade? Upgrade. Yi Li did not. Hesitating for a second would be a disrespect to life and the van. Upgrade. With Yi Li's voice, the mechanical sphere in his hand transformed into a white halo enveloping the entire vehicle. 10 seconds later, the white light dissipated. The car appeared more aesthetically pleasing with all the interiors renewed. The interior space seemed to have expanded slightly. Ding. Car upgrade successful. Current vehicle level ordinary level resource detection range increased to 200 meters. Fuel consumption adjusted, fuel efficiency reduced to 5 per 100 kilometers. After the upgrade, besides a significant increase in overall defense, the greatest advantage was the ability to detect resource boxes from a greater distance. Previously, the detected range of resource boxes never exceeded 100 meters. It seemed that the car's level was insufficient. Now it had been upgraded to ordinary level. The detection range had at least doubled. However, this also meant that the farther the resource boxes were, the deeper into the grasslands they would be, leading to potentially greater unknown dangers. The more danger, the more valuable the resources. Yili smirked as he started the vehicle. Virum, after the upgrade, the car's overall coordination and agility had significantly improved. Shifting gears and accelerating felt smoother. Yili shifted the gear to the highest setting and pressed the accelerator down hard. The car shot forward. Yili looked at the speedometer. Now his van could reach a top speed of 120 km/h. On the road, Li Qingge was driving ahead. Suddenly, he saw two cars stopped ahead. Two men were communicating between the vehicles. Upon seeing another car approach, they waved their hands, signaling Li Qingge to stop. Originally, Li Qingge did not want to get involved. However, a prompt appeared on the screen. Detected a resource box 50 meters to the left of the car. Only then did Li Qingge stop the car. The two men hurried over. However, when they saw who got out of the car, they were left dumbfounded. The person stepping out was a stunning beauty, tall and slender, her black dress flowing in the wind like a goddess in the night. Her snow-white skin glowed softly under the lights. Her exquisite features were free of makeup, her gaze cold and profound. Like a masterpiece carved by a master sculptor, her beauty was breathtaking. Her silky black hair cascaded down her shoulders like a waterfall. As it lightly brushed against her fair skin, it accentuated her ethereal grace and extraordinary temperament. She stood there without needing to speak or move, already entrancing the two men. They exchanged glances, both seeing desire reflected in each other's eyes. However, when they noticed the embroidered spring knife in Li Qing's hand, they forcefully suppressed their desires. "Beautiful lady, good evening." One of them attempted to greet her. However, Li Qingge completely ignored him. The looks those two men gave her made Li Qingge feel utterly disgusted. She directly ignored them and walked towards the grasslands on her left. "Beautiful lady, wait a moment." Seeing that Li Qingge ignored them, the two men immediately showed displeasure on their faces, raising their weapons and quickly stepping in front of her. "Is there something you need?" Li Qingge frowned slightly, looking coldly at the two men. "We know there's a treasure chest over there in the grasslands, but it's too dark now, and it's dangerous for you to go alone. How about we go together?" The man on the left said with a smile, his gaze constantly sizing up Li Qingge. The black dress highlighted her figure perfectly. "If you want to go together, then go ahead, but please keep your distance from me," Li Qingge coldly reminded them. The way those two men looked at her was too unpleasant. They were definitely two lecherous wolves. Don't worry, we'll just protect you from the side. Whatever we find will all be yours." The two of them laughed without a care. A woman with such character would be even more satisfying to conquer. Li Qingge ignored them and continued walking ahead. Soon the three of them saw a treasure chest ahead. Under the illumination of the lights, it radiated a golden glow. It turned out to be a golden treasure chest. The eyes of the two men revealed unmistakable excitement. Even in Li Qing's cold gaze, a hint of interest. This was the first time she had encountered a golden treasure chest since arriving in this world. However, soon the three of their gazes shifted to the side of the treasure chest. There sat a black bear devouring the body of an antelope. Blood-shredded flesh and entrails were scattered all around. The scene was extremely bloody. Looking at the black bear, which was even taller than them, while sitting, the two men trembled in fear. "Beautiful lady, maybe we should go back and wait for more people." Yes, it'd be safer to go with more people." "No need," Li Qingge said, striding forward with her long, slender legs. The black bear noticed someone approaching, dropped the antelope, and let out a roar towards the three of them, warning them not. The thunderous roar nearly caused the two men to fall to their knees. The black bear saw that Li Qingge ignored its warning, and its eyes flashed with anger. It directly threw the antelope's corpse at Li Qingge. At the same time, it dropped to all fours and lunged fiercely. The distance between one person and one bear was no more than 10 meters. At this moment, Li Qingge had no time to run. "Oh no, this beautiful girl is going to be ruined by a bear. Damn it, I should have taken my chance with her on the road earlier. I haven't had a woman for 3 days, and this one is simply The two men standing behind were filled with regret. Finally, they took one last reluctant look and turned to run quickly back to the road. They could only hope the black bear would kill Li Qingge and not seek trouble with them afterward. Once they encountered more people, they would come back to deal with the black bear. "Damn it. Next time, if a foolish woman like this comes along, we'll take our pleasure first." "Exactly, let's not let that beast take advantage." Back on the road, the two stood at the roadside looking out toward the grassland. The two figures had already merged into the darkness. Nothing was visible. They could only vaguely hear a few bear roars. Oh, that woman is probably being mauled to death. Let's go see what she has in her car. The two said, walking toward Li Qing's vehicle. Ding, this vehicle is owned act. The two tried pulling the car door for a long time, but couldn't open it. It seems this car's body and windows have been up. One man looked at the brand new exterior and completely intact windows and said, forget it, let's just smash it open and see, who knows, maybe there are some of her original underwear inside. The other man said with a lecherous expectation. The man raised the axe in his hand, ready to smash the car window. At the critical moment, he was pulled back by the man. What are you doing? The man asked unhappily. Are you stupid? This car has obviously been upgraded better than ours. Once that woman is dead, we might be able to take this car. What you're about to smash is our future vehicle. That seems to make sense. The man said, smacking his own head and putting down the iron axe. However, half an hour passed. The two tried countless times, but still couldn't get the car open. What's going on? That woman isn't dead yet. Could it be that she was killed by that black bear? What are you doing next to my car? The two were still guessing. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out from behind them. The two were startled and hurriedly turned around, pointing their weapons and flashlight behind them. They saw Li Qing standing not far away, draped in a bear skin, holding a pile of materials, blueprints, and bear meat in her arms. Her sharp gaze fixed on them. What the hell? You killed that bear. The two stared wide-eyed as if they had seen. Their eyeballs nearly popped out. Get out of the way, Li Qing said coldly, but neither of them moved. They were observing Li Qing. At this moment, her dress was tattered in many places, the torn fragments fluttering in the wind, revealing large areas of her snow-white skin. Her skin was as delicate as sheep fat, jade, enchanting to behold. The glimpses of springtime beauty were even more captivating. Although Li Qing appeared calm, it was clear from her heaving chest that she was extremely weak. The two men exchanged glances, unconsciously revealing a sinister smile. Hee, little sister, you seem to be injured. Come, let uncle check your body. If you don't treat it well, you might die. The two no longer concealed their intentions, walking towards Li Qing with burning gazes as if they wanted to devour her. You can leave now, and I can spare you, Li Qing said coldly. Ha ha, spare us. Now it's about whether we spare you. The two laughed recklessly and lunged at Li Qing. Li Qing's expression darkened as she threw the materials and blueprints in her arms at the two. Just moments ago, she had been clawed by the black bear, her clothes nearly torn apart, barely concealing her beauty. A large amount of fresh blood spurted from her wounds, staining her skin a deep crimson. The two men couldn't help but feel a pang in their chests at the sight. However, they were not focused on the surface, but rather the essence. The two red, swollen mounds were even more alluring, making them wish to take a bite. Clang! The sound of a knife being drawn rang out. The two saw Li Qing draw her knife, but did not take it too seriously. Given her current state, how could she possibly be a match for the two burly men? Their speed in lunging forward did not slow down, rather they were even more eager to pin this cold beauty down. Li Qing also did not stand there waiting to be captured. Instead, she charged towards the two, the glint of the blade flashing as she aimed for one man's head. The man wanted to use his weapon to block. Li Qing's technique had already shifted from a slash to a thrust. The man's expression changed instantly. He tried to dodge, but was too late. Thud! A dull sound echoed as the blade pierced through the man's chest. The sudden turn of events left the other man pale with fright. He never expected that Li Qing still had the strength to fight back at this moment. He abandoned the man beside him, frightened, and turned to run. But how could Li Qing let him escape? She withdrew her blade and threw it towards the man. Thud! The blade sunk into the man's back. She pierced him right through, leaving him sprawled on the ground, bubbling blood from his mouth. Li Qing ignored the two bodies, picked up the materials and blueprints from the ground, and pulled out the knife lodged in the man's back. Quickly returning to the car, she tore her clothes open in pain and applied the healing ointment she had traded with Yi Li to her wounds. After the bleeding stopped, Li Qing used a rag dipped in water to clean all the blood off her body before returning to the seat to rest. As the car's resource exploration distance increased, Yi Li discovered more and more resource boxes. Now, every few kilometers he traveled, he encountered a reminder. He opened many bronze and silver treasure chests of various sizes. Most contained basic resources. The only good item was another 120L of good-grade gasoline, along with several good-grade weapon crafting blueprints. Soon it was noon. Outside was still shrouded in darkness. Yi Li looked at the fuel gauge, which was nearly empty. He parked the car by the roadside. After checking that there was no danger around, he quickly got out and poured 40L of good gasoline into the tank. He also set fire to some grass and wood around the car. It could be used for lighting and to deter wild beasts, collecting some ash as well. After finishing these tasks, Yi Li returned to the car, took out the cream puffs and roast chicken he had found in the treasure chest that morning, and had them for lunch. Ding! Just as Yi Li was eating lunch and learning new skills, a prompt sound rang out on the screen. Li Qing, hello, I would like to exchange a healing ointment and an anti-night demon serum. Did this NPC encounter a night demon? Yi Li pondered, quickly replying to the message. The healing ointment is at the same price as before, but the anti-night demon serum is more expensive. It requires a good grade blueprint or 10 high-quality materials. What qualifies as high-quality materials? Lichinga, at least it should come from a silver-grade treasure chest, like fine iron, fine copper, and gunpowder, etc. Lichinga, how about a good grade frying pan crafting blueprint? Yili, sorry, I don't need a frying pan. Lichinga, Yili, if you don't have materials, then gather them slowly. Come back to trade when you've gathered enough. Lichinga, then let's trade for a healing ointment first. All right, Yili replied. Then he quickly accepted Li King's trade request. Maybe I should adjust the price of the healing ointment in the future. Yili looked at the various materials listed in the marketplace and shook his head helplessly. He was now, without a doubt, the king of materials. Lichinga, by the way, be careful of other people you encounter on the road. They are more dangerous than the other threats on the prairie. Looking at the message sent by Lichinga, Yili felt a warmth in his heart. After all, she was an NPC, she even knew to care for others. I already know, you be careful too. Yili edited a message back. After thinking for a moment, he couldn't help but joke. You must be a woman, right? Watch out for the wolves on the road that might carry you away. Lichinga, no way, I'm awesome. Of course you are an NPC. If you aren't awesome, who is? Yili muttered to himself, not sending any messages. He turned off private messages. He looked at the private message notifications. It was already 999. The bright red number made Yili feel a bit dizzy. These private messages contained everything. Freebie seekers, insulting parties, seduction groups. Yili couldn't ignore them all. After all, there were indeed people here wanting to trade with him. He could only scroll through them one by one during meal times. If he encountered someone wanting to trade who wasn't dead, yet he would send a message to request a trade. If they were already dead, there was nothing he could do. Yili could only silently chant Umitba in his heart. Bang! Just as Yili was trying to save the distressed, a sudden crashing sound came from outside the car. Yili turned to look out the window. A distorted, nauseating face appeared in his sight. Damn! Yili exclaimed instinctively, pulling out the tang knife that was on the passenger seat. He glanced around outside the car. 7 night demons were approaching. They surrounded his van. Bang! The night demons pressed their faces against the car window, their ruby-like big eyes blinking as they tried to see inside. Yili's car windows were bulletproof. Although only of a standard grade, they were sturdier than regular car windows. The windows had anti-peeping treatment. It was hard for the night demons outside to see inside the car. They could only keep banging their heads against the window. They wanted to smash the window to peek inside. Fortunately, my windows are bulletproof. Even if you smash your heads, you won't break it. Yili thought. But with so many night demons, he couldn't just let them knock on the glass. If it took too long, they might really crack the glass. He would only be left to cry. Yili carefully pulled out the tang knife and stealthily moved to a part of the glass where there were no zombies. He opened the window. Here, Yili shouted from inside the car. The night demons rushed over as if Yili aimed the tang knife at the heads of the night demons, reaching in. Like stabbing a watermelon, he pierced through one after another. These night demons were different from wolves. They had an obsession with humans that was relentless. Even if their companions fell around them, they would continue to charge forward, determined to bite the human in front of them to pieces. To this, Yili could only respond. Though you are brave, it is useless. In no time, he had pierced all the night demons outside to death. Are there monsters attacking even in broad daylight? Yili shone his flashlight around and found no other. He quickly got out of the car to collect the night demons' corpses and the extinguished bonfire. Acquired night demon serum 7, rags 35, gold coins 70, plant ash 400, charcoal 20. After collecting, Yili quickly returned to the car. Looking at the night demon blood stains left on the window, Yili wiped it down with water before returning to the driver's seat. He glanced at the time. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yili no longer replied to those private messages. He started the vehicle and continued driving forward while also switching the screen to the chat channel. Online users 23,654. In just one morning and an afternoon, 6,345 people had died. In half a day, the death toll had already exceeded 1/5. Even Yili was somewhat shocked. He steadied the steering wheel and began to scroll through the chat history. Brothers, we have encountered many vehicles today. Is anyone forming a team? Let's move forward together. Exactly, everyone together. It's best to have each other's backs when encountering monsters in the future. Someone come find me, I've been stuck in the car for half a day. While little sister seeks refuge. I used to be a famous streamer fond of singing and dancing rap and basketball. I can sing for everyone and dance for everyone during breaks. Damn, the girl above is truly a gem. Our speeding convoy will accept her. Anyone who dares to rob from me is going against me, Chin Tian. If I encounter them, not even Jesus can save them, I swear. Brother Chin is formidable and imposing. Ooh, I want to join too. Everyone, I am from the Dragon Kingdom Security Bureau. My name is Zhao Jinghua. Welcome everyone to join my convoy. Resources will be shared regardless of gender. Ah, really? I want to join. If we encounter danger, everyone must help each other. Many people were sending messages in the chat channel. One convoy after another appeared like rays of dawn, illuminating the hearts of the people. But soon a message extinguished everyone's ignited hope. Everyone meeting is a good thing, but be cautious of some treacherous bastards. I nearly got killed just now. Look at the online count in the channel, it has suddenly dropped by thousands. Do you really think these people were killed by wild beasts or night demons on the grasslands? Let me tell you, there are more profitable things than risking your life to open treasure chests on the grasslands, and that is to rob. The sudden message was like a bomb. It shattered everyone's hopes. No way, we are all from the Dragon Kingdom. Shouldn't we help each other through tough time? Hell, we are all from the Dragon Kingdom, but do those with dozens, hundreds, or thousands of little goals at home want to share their wealth with you? Don't be foolish. Oh, every world has its own law of the jungle. Either grow stronger or perish. Wah, I'm so scared. Is there a kind soul to save me? I don't care anymore. I'm out first, you weaklings. Video. Yeely curiously clicked to take a look. In the darkness, a seductive tune played. Though not clearly visible, it was evident that a man and a woman were engaged in intimate activities inside the car. Damn bro, have you really started? Envy. Everyone listen to me. We must obey the law and absolutely cannot engage in illegal activities. Otherwise our security bureau will take serious action. Damn it, what a broken security bureau. In this world, I am the law. I've long found these people displeasing. I want to have my fun too. I don't want to rob either. But the resources in your cars are just too abundant. Black Dragon Convoy is recruiting. If our motto is grow big and strong, create brilliance again. Ambitious and passionate people are welcome to join. Important things are said 3 times. Don't be a saint, don't be a saint, don't be a saint. I declare the establishment of the Whitebeard Bandit Group. The Straw Hat Bandit Group is established. I want to be the Highway King. Because of that video, the people in the chat channel went completely crazy. Yeely silently watched the messages in the chat channel. He had already seen several people mentioning him, inviting him to join their team. However, he ignored them all. With his talent, he could fully sustain himself. Joining a team would change that. His talents would surely be exposed, and he didn't know what kind of troubles that would bring. Moreover, joining a team meant taking on responsibilities, sharing resources, and protecting companions. Yeely believed he couldn't manage that. He preferred to, though it might be a bit boring, it was worry-free and he didn't have to worry about being backstabbed. Perhaps he could even meet a few pretty girls to chat with along the way. Rather than joining those teams, it was better to quickly enhance his own strength. Yeely continued to watch the chat messages while driving forward. Ding. Detected a resource box 200 meters to the right of the vehicle. Hearing the notification from the screen, Yeely immediately focused, braking to stop the car steadily by the roadside. Looking to the right, it was pitch black and he could see nothing. 200 meters away marked the farthest distance Yeely had ever detected a treasure box. He had reached the limit of the car's detection range. Yeely donned his leather armor, equipped himself, and stepped out of the car heading towards the grassland. Before the light reached that area, Yeely had already seen several pairs of crimson eyes opening in the distance, all staring at him. The surroundings were accompanied by gusts of cold wind and a stench. Night demons. Are they oi? Yeely murmured softly, instinctively quickening his pace. In fact, compared to fierce beasts, night demons were somewhat less formidable in combat. Their only advantage was their greater numbers, and their attacks carried infection effects. For Yeely at this moment, these were nothing to worry about. As he looked at those pairs of blood-red eyes, Yeely counted them as he walked. There were 10 pairs of eyes. At least 10 night demons. As the distance between them closed, when the light illuminated the faces of the night demons, a fierce expression suddenly appeared on their faces. They let out a series of howls from their throats and crazily lunged towards Yeely. Yeely halted his advance, standing still and raising his Desert Eagle. Only when those night demons charged within 10 meters did Yeely pull the trigger. It wasn't that he was afraid of wasting bullets, but rather because he lacked confidence in his shooting skills. He only had 1 handgun, 1 magazine, and 7 bullets. Once he ran out, those monsters wouldn't give him a chance to reload. Bang! Yeely aimed at a night demon's head. With the sound of gunfire, the night demon's head shattered like a wall. Bang! Another shot. Another night demon's head burst apart. As the night demons closed in, Yeely steadily increased the speed of his shooting. In a continuous burst, 7 shots took down 7 night demons on the grassland. The remaining 3 night demons lunged towards Yeely. He quickly retreated. As he put away the Desert Eagle, he drew the Tang Dao from his waist. Whoosh! With a swift sound he struck. The head of the foremost night demon was directly cleaved in half. The cut was clean. Half of the night demon's head nearly slipped off its body. Good knife. Yeely exclaimed in a low voice. Previously, using an axe to chop night demons had cost him a significant amount of effort. It was nothing compared to the ease of using the Tang Dao. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 more swift strikes took down the remaining 2 charging night demons. Yeely quickly began to collect the corpses of these night demons. Obtain night demon blood serum, 10 rags, 50 gold coins, 100. After collecting, he approached the treasure. It turned out to be another golden treasure box. Yeely felt a surge of excitement in his heart. Last time he had opened a crafting blueprint for armor-piercing bullets from a golden box. He wondered what kind of treasure he could obtain this time. With eager anticipation, he opened the treasure box as the golden glow dissipated. He took in the contents inside the box. Obtained iron ore 15, obtained gunpowder 15, obtained fine steel 1, obtained vehicle storage cabinet good quality 1, obtained unknown gem 1. Yi Li had no time to examine them closely. He hurriedly gathered the items and dashed back to the car. At the moment he locked the car door, his heartbeat gradually calmed down, and he reloaded the magazine for the Desert Eagle. Yi Li then carefully examined the items he had acquired. First was the good quality vehicle storage cabinet. Length 68 centimeters, width 50 centimeters, height 40 centimeters. Its function was similar to that of a dimensional ring, but its size was larger. It came with a space of 400. Yi Li placed it under the workbench in the back. He then took out the materials he had listed in the store and put them inside. When needed in the future, he could directly take them from the storage cabinet. Next, Yi Li turned his attention to the unknown gem. The stone appeared plain and ordinary with no special. It was somewhat shaped like a dinosaur egg. When he touched the gem, a piece of information suddenly appeared in his mind. Unknown gem description: please drop blood on the gem, and there may be unexpected surprises. Unexpected surprises. I absolutely love surprises. A gleam suddenly flashed in Yi Li's eyes, and a faint smile crept onto his face. That kind of sudden, unexpected yet exhilarating experience was a kind of fun in itself. The nearby Tang Dao had just slain the night demons. Yi Li didn't dare to gamble on whether it had been contaminated with a virus. He used the workbench to craft a dagger. Drip, drip. In an instant, blood dripped onto the unknown gem, like a column rapidly being absorbed. The stone, originally rock-like, began to exude a hint of alluring red. Watching the changes occur, Yi Li boldly pressed his palm against the gem. Girdle, girdle. The gem seemed alive, showing no hesitation. It began to greedily absorb blood. Yi Li could even feel all the blood in his body flowing towards the wound on his palm. You won't drain me dry, will you? Yi Li felt a chill run down his back. He hurriedly pulled his hand back. In just a few moments, his palm was on the verge of losing sensation. In contrast, the gem had begun to emit a captivating red glow. Crimson cracks spread across the surface of the gem as if it were about to shatter. However, without the nourishment of blood, the spreading cracks began to slow down. Seeing this, Yi Li gritted his teeth and pressed his palm back against it. Having come this far, he couldn't just give up. I still don't believe it. A mere stone can drain me dry. Yi Li clenched his teeth, determination and resolve flickering in his eyes.